Hello, Starlings. I'm Occupational Click, and my brother is joining me.
Howdy.
There we go. Okay, very good. Very good. So, I wanted to stream briefly because, for various reasons, I went back. The grass is what used to, I'm getting older. We used to take like, a couple days, day or two, is now
Yes.
taking day after day. Part of it's my laziness. Part of it's like I'm getting old. I'm like, just, and the grass is wet as shit. So it's cutting okay with my push mower. But instead of like dry hay being blown out, it's blowing out. It's not blowing anything out. These big clumps,
Of
wet grass, are getting stuck. So I have to either the mower shuts itself off, or I got to stop it manually, turn upside down, careful of the blade, pull out these clumps. Like so, every few cuts I got to stop. So it's taking longer.
Yes.
We got some rain today, so I'm hoping we get a nice bake tomorrow, and I can like finish the back because I couldn't do too much, but yeah, at least something's getting quasi getting
I
done.
think it is gonna rain tomorrow evening or night, so hopefully you can wake up early.
Fine, I'll stay up all day. Oh God, yes. There's much to discuss. We'll get to that in a minute, but hold on. No, I was telling my brother, man, I want to get to that point where several things happen. I feel better about myself. I get out of depression. It's pure fantasy land. I get out of my depression. I get to neat. He gets to neat. We're on Medicaid, Social Security. We got a nice rent control place, and I feel great again. And we can just play video games and do shit and just watch TV and DVD, like basically a teenage lifestyle that's paid for. I'm looking for. I don't ask for much. I'm not crying over a woman. I'm not asking for a great job or career. All that said, bye bye. I just want to be able to live out a nice, decent existence. And it seems like every twist and turn is like opposed to that. So yes, so that's I mean, what do you think? I mean, we're always talking about we should play some Nintendo again, listen to some Smiths again, watch Star Trek again. It's like all these things we want to do. It's like
Yes, but the wage slaving with me.
no. I'm not living good. That's what I want. That's my fantasy. I'm not dreaming about a girlfriend and a wife and kids. I'm not dreaming about winning the lottery.
Two nice cars and a penthouse suite.
Yeah, I'm a nice place, rent controlled, one shit car, and just some whatever TV and video games. Just no one bothers me, and everything's paid for, like a millionaire.
Free or cheap internet.
What does someone who's on Neat Bucks and a millionaire have in common? They don't have to worry about paying electric bill or the rent or worry about getting kicked out or evicted. They don't have to worry about this shit. It's all so basically, if you can't be a millionaire, the next best step is to be a fucking neat. It's either or. Either be really rich or be really poor and get my gimme dats. There's really no in between. And I can understand if I were a normie, I had the wife and kids, I would live that normie life. And if I had a decent job, I'd say, well, I'm not a millionaire, but I'm making good money. It wouldn't be worth being poor. But there's that line where over a matter of $40, you're either really poor and struggling or you're a neat. So I'm at that point where I'm over that line, but not enough to say, well, I'm not a millionaire, but I have a decent salary. So, okay, I'm over the line. No point. I'm like so close to being neat that it's like, why aspire for any more money? I'm so like close to that line, but just over it. It's like the worst of both worlds. This is the truly poor aren't the neats. It's the people who earn a little too much to be neats in the first place. Yeah. Well, I didn't say I want. You weren't paying attention. I didn't say I want to be normie. I said if I were a normie, I wouldn't be thinking like this. If I were a normie, didn't I clarify? And if I were a normie with the wife, the kids, a good job, making a lot of money, I'd say I'm not a millionaire. I got to work, but hey, I'm making like six figures. Not even. I'm making 75, 80 grand a year. It's not worth becoming super dirt poor to get neat bucks. That would be a waste. I'm living a decent life. So if I got to work, I'm making good money. I'm saying when you're working and the money sucks, you're making shit, but you're making just a little too much shit, to qualify for gimme that's what really fucking sucks. So yes, please pay attention, Penny. Please pay attention. Pay. Yes, that it does. It's another thing. Get a condo where cheap, rent controlled, and hey, the Mexicans shovel shovel the snow and they tend to the shit. I mean, you might not be able to grill, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Yes. So. No, I wasn't being sarcastic. Am I not articulating well enough? I was not being sarcastic. I was talking about my dream life of being a neat. I'm not there yet, but that seems more attainable than becoming a millionaire, starting a great company,
getting a decent job,
even getting the normie things, getting a wife and a decent, semi-decent job. Even that seems like a pipe dream. The only thing I can really hope for is potential neat bucks. So no, I'm not being sarcastic, and I'm not boasting and bragging. I'm saying that's the life I want to have. I'm fantasizing about what I want to have. Okay. We're on the same page. There's only like 2 or 3 people here, and I feel like what I mean. Maybe I don't always articulate the best. Maybe I know people miss things. I understand all that, but there's definitely a part of me that thinks if Thule were here, stairs. Come on, I'm repeating myself 10 times. How many times? You're a normie. You wish in your dreams. I never said I was a normie, idiot. Oh, you're being sarcastic. No, I'm sharing my life. Oh, you're living the good life. No, I'm trying to. It's like what the fuck? Can everyone going to stare up? Am I really that? Is it really that hard to understand what I'm saying? Christ. But then again, we got an Australian. God only knows what language they speak there. We got a Negro, allegedly, and they speak Ebonics. So I understand. Maybe American English is tough, but okay. Go back and rewatch. All right. Whew. It's okay, Dubs. It's okay. There's no need to apologize. It's okay. Anyway, there's some other things we wanted to talk about. Yeah, we'll get to this in a minute. I was dreaming about happier days because apparently, but in many ways, well, we'll get to this in a minute. This is allegorical for how I am treated in life in general. This is really allegorical. So we'll get to that in a minute. But is there anything other stuff we want to like mention in passing? Any other brief shit? We ran out of cold beer, so we got some in the freezer. You replenished.
Yes.
But that beer is warm. We got a few cold ones left in the fridge. We got to move the ones from the freezer to the fridge so they don't freeze.
Yes.
Freezer to the fridge so they don't freeze. What else? There's some other shit you wanted to.
I can't think of it now.
But you're saying something about the dream life. When these things come up, we should make a little notes. I was like, we should have said that. That was a good point you got there. But I know this isn't. So I wear. Wearing this red shirt just after I take a shower in the evening. I throw this on. Yeah, I wear a junky shirt that I'll wash when I'm done cutting the grass. So yeah, this is just shower water. So don't worry, starlings. And speak of Satan himself. Well, I don't know. I was talking about my fantasy life. Yes. Dubs thought I was boasting and bragging about what I already have. If he's been watching me, he knows I'm not yet on Neat Bucks, but I want to be. Then he thought I was being sarcastic. No, I was dreaming. I was fantasizing. I said if I were a normie, I wouldn't be fantasizing about these things. Penny Pounder somehow thought I was declaring that I was a normie when I said no. I keep talking about hypothetical what ifs, and everyone seems to struggle with this. So, Thule, you seem a little bit smarter. We talk about stairs. These guys, like, you people think I'm on stair number 2 because you're only on stair 4 and you can't see how high up I am. So you think I must be behind you. Thule, I think you're like half a step above Pounder and even Dub. So you can understand when I say, man, I'm looking forward to a life where I don't need much. Just if we have a nice rent controlled place, I don't have to cut the grass anymore. And I feel good again about my life. And I can just play video games and watch TV like a fucking teenager. Everything's paid for. Hey, I'm never going to have a good job. Never going to have a wife. Never going to have kids. Never going to have a career. And quite frankly, I don't want any of that anymore. I've given up. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm not fucking 22 years old. I'm in my 40s. It's like I don't care about that anymore. I just want you, but I want to get to that point, but I'm not there. And I was saying how, it's that if you're, it isn't like rich poor. There's like a line where you're too poor to have much, but you're still too rich to qualify for Neat Bucks. So in a way, a Neat is actually richer than I am, if you think about it, because I'm struggling every day, and a Neat doesn't have to worry about that shit. Unless I win the fucking lottery, I think Neat is like something I can hopefully. Don't take my fantasy from me. You can't help it, Pounder. We both agree. You're so mesmerizing.
Yes, you are quite the specimen.
You look in my eyes. You got me hypnotized. Two friends having coffee. Got me hypnotized. All right. Well, Dubs. He's not, but I can understand why you might think he is. Now, you actually seem like a very nice, soft-spoken, well-mannered fellow. You seem, fairly civilized for a truckie in Western Australia. Exactly. Penny gets it. You guys are all morons. Sloth is slightly less of a moron. So, yes, correct.
He is Archduke of the morons.
Archduke. In the land of the retards, the semi-retard, the slow guy is king. Okay. Well, no, see, a lot of people have that dream, but most of them won't give up their normal lives to become neats. That would be a waste. Many dream of either starting a great business or winning the lottery or becoming famous. So similar fantasy, but no one's looking the other way. They're not looking down. They're not looking down the mountain. Why would they? I got a good job. Life is fine. Yeah, work sucks, but I make decent money. Wouldn't it be great to be a millionaire? No one's saying, let me give this all up to try to hopefully get on Neat Bucks. I'm in a position where I don't have all those things. I'm like a step away from Neat Bucks, but a little too rich to get it. You know what I mean? No, you idiot. I don't think I'm an Einstein. Truth is, I'm a moron. I'm a fucking retard. So I'm not a genius. I'm not even normally smart. I'm a moron. Yet, I'm smarter than you guys, which is what's really scary. It's not that I am a genius, you're idiots. It's I'm an idiot, and you guys are even dumber, which is really scary. As stupid as I am, if all these people are even that stupid, it's scary. Man, I thought people were smarter in general. Yes, E equals MC Spurg. Anyway, I called this. We were going to talk about happier days, right? Happier days. This was a beautiful photo taken just before we left Zillinger. It was that next morning. We streamed from Dum's living room.
Yes.
We said our goodbyes, and just before we left, we took a group photo. Very nice little photo, very touching memory. And then we left. We headed off to Gettysburg, and eventually came home. So that was our last. It was the last time we saw Dum in the flesh. That was our last photo with him. A very, very lovely photo. Happier days. Apparently, times have changed, and I want you normies to tell me what I've done wrong, because once again, Spurg me is just such a fucking monster. We'll talk in a minute. Let me preface it. You want to say? I gotta.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this story, so I'd like to hear it too.
Dude. There's a guy who started he was very smart, started a company, does very well, has smart people working for him. He died, gave it to his son who wasn't as smart. Now his grandson runs it. Grandson's a fucking moron, but he makes millions of dollars because he was given a company. So how much you make in life does not correlate to how intelligent you are. I think if everybody is equal in terms of looks and physical ability, then yes, the smarter guy will do a better job at the job interview. But I think retard Chad is more appealing than ugly, disgusting, manlet genius starving on the corner. So I'm not even talking about your or my intelligence. I'm just saying you can't use that as a litmus test. Not always. Forget about me. I'm just talking about life in general. So come on, son. Learn something. In addition to intelligence, there's also wisdom. I've got like 20 some odd years on you, son. Learn from the older fellas like me. It's called wisdom. You don't have to be that bright. I've lived long enough to say, okay, maybe when I was fucking 21 years old, I would have thought the same thing. But at fucking 43, I think a little differently because of life experience. Not just my own, but observation. So yes, learn something, son. Learn from us old white folks. You know what I mean? You young niggers think this and that. But come on, you know deep down, we probably are more philosophical than y'all. So come on, learn something. Swallow your pride. You don't have to tell your buddies, your homies. You don't have to tell them. Anyway. Okay, so where were we? Oh, yes. We'll get back to this in a minute. Oh, I did get a call. Speaking of smart, I want to work a dumb job, but I like the idea. There's a local farm, and they had an ad up on Craigslist. So I think if you were watching my stream the other night, I emailed the guy. He actually called me today. He sounds like I didn't meet him, but he sounds like a nice dude. He's like, yeah, my name's Kevin, and I run this farm, and a lot of guys want 5 or 6 days. I'm looking for a dude who wants to work like 2 days a week. And I said, yeah, I'll consider it. He was like, I'm going out of town. You want to come like a week? I'll call you back later this week. You want to come in next weekend, like a week from now? I said, all right, I'll check it out. And I said, look, is this under the table? I didn't go on about I want to be a NEET, but I want money to government. I didn't go into that. I just said, is this under the table? He goes, yeah. Just all under the table. I said, cool. You pay me cash or write me a check? Because even if he writes me a check, I can go to his bank and cash it. So I'm like, cash or check? He goes, oh, I can Venmo or Zelle you the money. And I'm like, okay, look, man, I don't use those things. I don't have those apps. He's like, it's okay, man. Those apps just tie to your bank. As long as you have a bank account, I can just deposit in your bank. I'm like, I didn't say anything. I'm like, okay. But if it goes in my bank, the government's going to know about it. I'm going to pay 1099 taxes, and it'll jeopardize potential SSI. I want to be able to say, I don't have a job, get SSI from the government. I have a couple of, he told me, basically 10 hours a day, a couple days a week. If he needs me a third, fine. It might slow down. He might not need me in the winter. I get it. Seasonal job. He said, he was telling me $350, $400. I said, yeah, a couple days a week, $400, $200 a day. What, cleaning pig shit? I'll try it. I'll think about it. But I just want like fucking cash. I don't want like it to go, officially
to be
tracked. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck? As a farmer, I wasn't expecting this shit. I can Zelle or Venmo you. Jesus Christ. All right, I'll pull up something. Yeah, Dubs wants to know how your day was like,
Here you go, put the transition the beers,
yeah, I'll go transition the beers. You talk to Dubes.
Yeah, my day was.
I now call him Dubsboro. Someone called him Dubs Bro, B-R-O, brother, but I misread it as Dubs. I like that. Sounds like we're in Western Australia.
Yes,
we're in the middle of the outback. We're coming to a small town called Dubsboro.
That's all right.
Dubsboro, Australia. Dubsboro, Western Perth.
Nice. My day was typical. Went to my crap job, worked it. Now I'm home. Was watching TV before. Now I'm streaming. It was neither bad nor good. It was just an average day. How was yours? Did you work today? Did you have a day off? What are you up to? Okay. All right, so I guess you had a day off today. Good for you. And you're going to do a little shopping. Yeah, I guess I contribute a little bit. What about you, Penny? What do you do? What is your career path? What's your job? All right, very nice. Yeah, I got no problem with that. All right, wonderful. Could you elaborate? No, we don't have any tall boys.
What's that?
Yeah, Dubs is asking if we have any tall boys.
No, I think we ran out of tall boys. Next time we go to the liquor store, we'll get some. But the 6 we put in the freezer, they're not icy yet, but they're cold, so I put them in the fridge.
So I just want.
No, these are the last 2 original refrigerator. These are the last 2 in the refrigerator. We've got more cans in the refrigerator, but they're all warm. They got to cool down. So I took 6, 3 buds, 3 bushes, and I put them in the freezer to rapidly cool them. But if you leave them in too long, they start getting icy,
Yes.
and the alcohol evaporates. So I moved the freezer ones into the refrigerator. They were chilled, but not frozen yet. These are the last two cold original.
All right, yes.
Always in the refrigerator, never in a freezer. And this isn't the new batch; these are our leftover last. You got it, last 2 refrigerator. Okay.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, I don't know why that is. I guess they don't usually have that. Is it some patriotic thing? Is it only? Is it
These are left over from the 4th of July.
left? Yeah, 4th of July. We bought a bunch of cases on the 4th of July. Oh, there we go. Folds of honor. See that? And take note, if DBF's watching, there's no U in honor. This is an American can. It's an American can. It comes into your town. It helps you party down. It's an American can. That's very, very patriotic, I guess. Okay. I want to pull up Discord. Hold on, I want to tell my story. And you we have other tales. So we talk about the farm, talk about cutting grass. Is there any other tale you want to talk about? My fantasies, which everyone thought I was either boasting or bragging or being sarcastic. No, I'm talking about my fantasy, which you should know about. Christ. Oh. You said neither. I was thinking I was singing the song Seether, actually. Seether by Veruca Salt. Yeah. But I'll change Seether with Xenesis. Xenesis is neither loose nor tight. Xenesis is neither black nor white. I try to keep him on a short leash. I try to hold him down. I try to push his head in the ground. Can't fight the Zeether. When you think of the song Seether, neither, yeah. Anyway. I picked Xenesis because he's neither black nor white, so he's one of the few people here I can use. Let's see here. He probably isn't loose or tight. You got to check. Okay, where was I? What else do you want to say to the Starlings while I get this going?
I don't have much to say to the Starlings.
I need a minute. I need a point of reference.
Yes. Do your point.
Because you want to hear the story too.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's just leave with We have been on Mount Rushmore, but that was 27 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Hold on. Ah, yes. The three. But it's like the Three Stooges after Larry died. One of the Stooges doesn't want to be part of it anymore. We'll talk about that. But all right, let's talk about something called Discord. There's this thing called Discord, which I had heard of in passing. You work with kids who'd say like, "I'm playing video games with my buddies on Discord" or whatever.
Yeah.
I never cared about it. I still really can't get into it. But back in, I think it was like December, some of the Starlings encouraged me to get a Discord, and the one Starling at Cassandra walked me through it. And so I have a Discord, which I check out periodically, but it's not something I use too often. And I remember Dev Pike was complaining, "You never answer my calls on Discord." It's because I'm not on it half the time. But let me tell you about Discord. I'm reading my friends. I don't have a whole lot of friends. My friends are basically just the Starlings. So I want to share with you who my friends are on Discord because, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm friends with Seymour, who's Cassandra's girlfriend. So Seymour and Cassandra.
Cassandra's boyfriend.
What did I say, girlfriend?
Yeah.
Well, same thing. But no. Okay, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Cassandra is the one who wanted me to get on Discord, and Seymour, I'm friends with him. Okay, so the two of them in fucking Tucson. Okay, Cassandra and her boyfriend, fiance, whatever they are, Seymour. Friends with two of them. I'm friends with Dev Pike, who likes to, contact me quite a bit. I'm still friends with Beppis, but haven't spoken to her. I'm friends with Thule and Doggo and Mebanks and Aiden and Zenesis, but all those people, Beppis and the others, Thule, Doggo, Mebanks, Aiden, and Zenesis, we're friends, but we don't contact each other too often. It's kind of like, I was thinking about when our mother had an old address book. My mother used to have this, in the days before cell phones, she had this address book, had everyone's name, phone number, she typed it up on the typewriter, people she knew. Some of those she would use all the time. Every time she wanted to call like our godmother or she wanted to call her aunt, she was always going to the phone book. There were other names in that book that just, I'm like, who's this? Oh, that's my old neighbor, but she's dead now. Or who's this? Oh, that's my cousin, but she moved to the West Coast. I don't have her new address. Okay, but in other words, some of those she used a lot. Others just sort of sat there, but she never felt compelled to get a black magic marker and say "dead to me." Yes. She would just, and that's how I feel. Guys, I don't need to talk to Thule or Mebanks, but if they want to, they can talk to me and vice versa. We don't talk, but we're friends. Whatever, and we just sits there, no big deal. And I don't, like I said, like on this channel, I don't ban people. I time people out. I don't ban people, and I'm very mad. I don't want to. I'm not the type. I've never been the type to. I'm not like that. What is it? There's something. We'll talk about Foucault some other time. I remember that French fag philosopher. He said something great once. I read it in college. I guess if we can find the book or whatever. I still have it. Look it up. Foucault said, and others have said this too. It's like, you gotta have the mental strength that something you don't like shouldn't make you fall apart. I can disagree with something or not like something, but I don't feel like we got to burn this book because it hurt my feelings. A lot of these snowflakes almost seem no different than the Nazis in the sense that my feelings are hurt, make it go away. I don't like something you said once, so boom, you're dead to me. I'm not like that. I wouldn't want to censure anything, even if I don't like someone. But anyway, so I just told you all my Discord friends. I'm going somewhere with this. Hold on. No, well, okay. What you call temp banning, I call timed out. You were never permabanned. No one's been permabanned. You were timed out. Others have been yes, I time people out. You want to call it temp banning? Fine. Emphasis on temporary. I've never permanently banned anybody, and I have no intention to. Unless someone's like a spam bot saying, penis enlargement, something like that, because it's not even a person. But other than that, no, I don't feel the need to make anyone permanently go away. Temporarily, I might say. I think. Go, young man, you need a time out. Go in a little corner. But I've never permanently banned anyone. The fact that you're still here talking to me should be proof of that. And I'm nuts, Christ. Okay, so where were we? No, you were not banned. You were not here. I've never banned anybody. Not my style. And I've never unfriended anybody. If I get enemies with someone, like my mother's old phone book, she would call my aunt. She would call her best friend, my godmother. She'd always run. She'd call her other friend. She'd always run to the book. Like she really relied on this book in the pre-cell phone days. But there were a ton of names in that book that once in a blue moon she might call them. Others who she lost touch with. Oh, that's my old coworker. She got married and moved away years ago. I don't even know where she is anymore. But there's her old. My mother didn't feel the need to update her address book or cross people out. She would use the book for the people, and others just sat there harmless. Yes. So, but apparently others aren't like that. They want to. You're dead to me. I guess it gives us some kind of weird peace of mind. But as a spurg, so I'm trying to get back to where I was going with this. Okay. No, that never happened. I've never had to go in and unban anybody. I've never had to go through some weird set of steps to try to bring someone off the list. You're probably thinking of Horsehead. I know Horsehead Nebula, I think, had you blocked or banned at one point. That was never me, numbnuts. I've never had to go in and unban or unblock anybody. I've never banned or blocked anybody. I've timed people out. I've never had to go through and unban people. It's never happened. Never. I can attest that because I wouldn't even know how to do that. If I were to ban you right now and I want to unban, I'm gonna have to go through a set of steps. I'd probably have to ask for help because Numbnuts Horse said when he started streaming, he wanted me. I said, all right, I'll come on your stream for support. I couldn't chat in the comments because he had banned me long ago. He'd forgotten about it. He got upset with me over something I said in dumb. He couldn't remember what it was. He'd banned me. So I had to tell him, look, man, I can't come on. I can't even be seen because you banned me. Someone had to walk him through the steps of unbanning me. That's why I couldn't interact when Dumb went to go visit Todd. I couldn't interact because Numbnuts banned me. So, again, that's why I don't mod people. It's almost like you people are like children, or it's like this. You're dead to me. So instead of saying, okay, your name's in my phone book, I'm just not going to call you anymore. It's I'm going to get a black magic marker. Okay, so I'm trying to go somewhere with this. So let's go back to happier days here. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, it's on the music. Okay. All right, so I told you my friends, Seymour, Dev Pike, Beppis, don't talk to her. She's just like a dead name in my phone book. But I have no need to delete her. She didn't delete me. We don't communicate, but she's just a leftover name in my phone book. So Thule and Doggo, I talked to, I don't really talk to them. I know them. I think it's more symbolic. We're friends on Discord to show that we get along with each other in real life, but they don't talk to me, and I don't go, where are you guys? And they don't bother. We're friends, but hey, no need to ban each other, no need to block. Hey, we're friends, and we don't really want to talk to each other, but we could if we wanted to. Like my mother, I don't want to call my cousin who I haven't seen in 10 years, but I could if I wanted to. I'm not going to cross out, going to play out. So let's see. So what was this thing? Seymour, Dev Pike, Beppis, Thule, Doggo, Donna. I'm friends with Donda, Cassandra, Me Banks, Aiden, and Zenesis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 10 Discord friends, which is more. And before you laugh, that's more friends than I ever planned to have. I don't even go on Discord. Anyway, the point is, the point I'm getting at is, yeah, we all miss Beppis, but I miss her and I don't. I mean, if she really wants to be like that, then bye bye. I always tell people go away. Anyway, so I had 10 friends on this Discord, which you Starlings insisted I join. 10 friends. But I used to have 12. I used to have 12 friends. I had 10 friends. I had 12 friends. I only have 10. There are 2 people I was friends with that are no longer on my friends list. And like I said, I'm like my mother. If there's an old name in the address book, I would just ignore it. So I didn't unfriend anybody, just like I never banned or blocked anybody. Penny Pounder. I've never blocked anybody here. I don't. If it's just an active entry. There are 2 people who decided, I hate OC so much. She's dead to me. Yeah. And that's fine. They can go their separate ways. One of them I wish would fucking disappear. I can't seem to get rid of him. Or his cronies. And the other kind of surprised me. So you Starlings, I wanted to guess, who are the 2 friends on Discord who unfriended me? 2 people who agreed to be my friend and then later decided, not only do I hate you, I'm unfriending you. Who are those 2 people? Who do you want to... Let's take a guess. Who are the 2 people? Dubs, where are you? I want you to... I'll play the music again if you answer the fucking question. It's like you should be the genius who gets it. Who are the 2 people who decided, I don't want to be friends with him anymore, he's dead to me?
Who unfriended OC on Discord?
No, I'm asking you, Dubs. Okay, good job, Totem. Wow. You see, it's amazing how Totem is like Totem. You got if Thule has one brain cell IQ cell more than Penny Pounder, even Dubs, you've got a point and a half. So congratulations. Yeah. DBF didn't surprise me. He acted like a bitch, and we know he's into men. And I never understood what his problem was. I was willing to be his buddy, but after he banned me 3 times from his fucking chat in his stream, I said okay, but. When that happened, I said, okay, I guess we can't be friends. I tried to be friends with him. Let's just go our separate ways. I never felt compelled to unfriend him. Yeah. I just thought it was okay. Like my mother's old phone book. I remember so many times the phone book was getting old towards the end. She would always use it to call my aunt, to call my godmother, to call whomever. Occasionally she might once in a blue moon, call like some elderly relative. So some entries got use weekly, others got use monthly, others got use almost never. But she didn't delete them or rip the page out; they just sat there. And when she would do her Christmas card, she'd go through and she'd send Christmas cards to people she hadn't called in years. Others she'd say, "I haven't talked to him in 10 years. I'm not going to send him a Christmas card." Oh, but my other my niece or whatever, my goddaughter or whatever, even though I haven't spoken to her a few years, I should send her a Christmas card. So, they were just there. I'm like a Spurg too. I like information. Nothing really offends me. So I said, okay, DBF and I aren't buddies. I tried going to his stream like 3 times, and it was always an abortion. That's not how friendship works in my Spurg mind. So I'm going to ignore him, but I felt no need to, what's it called? Moro Moriarty? What's that thing? Dead to me? Yeah. But apparently DBF bitched out and deleted me. Fine. Life goes on. I can't get rid of him. He still shows up. Him under multiple aliases, some of his cronies. I can't get rid of the guy. But we know. But again, I never really cared that much about DBF. I was willing to be his buddy. You don't want to be buddies. You'll just be a dead entry in my phone book. But apparently, I had to be scrubbed. So when someone deletes me from their phone book, they get deleted from mine. So he deleted me, unfriended me, whatever you call it. So he's no longer my friend. Fine, life goes on. I wouldn't have made that move, but hey, that's what people do. So okay, cool. But number 2, dumb, kind of surprises me. And this is kind of allegorical for what it's like being a Spurg and what I want to explain to you about my relations with people. So you can say whatever you want about me, but well, first, let's back up a minute. Brother Click, are you following the story so far?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yeah, what happened was, by the way, Dr. Hans Asperger, this is Destroyed by Foids.
Oh, yeah.
Why did you unfriend me? You don't want to be friends, that's fine, but I would have just ignored you. I wasn't going to talk to you. You want to unfriend me? Cool. But it's like with you, you're a weird because you unfriend me, but then you still keep coming around here. Like, fuck off. But I'm the opposite. I would not have unfriended you, but I've never been back to your little stream since. I don't care. Fine. You want to ban me 3 times? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. 3rd time. So I said, okay, I'm never going to go back to his chat again. I guess we're not friends anymore. But the fact that he's my Discord friend, I'll just ignore him. Like, you can have someone's phone number and not call them. So I figured out, but I guess, I fucking hate OC. Got to get rid of him. He's dead to me. Tara Norquay was telling me, oh yeah, he threw it in her Scottish accent. He threw a tantrum. He told me he unfriended you because he was so upset. I'm like, wow, what a bitch. But so can't get rid of this asshole. But yes, and yeah, there was one time Dev Pike contacted me and said, "Oh, I accidentally deleted you on Discord." I'm like, that's cool because I didn't even notice. And then I said, "Fine, if you're going to be friends again, I'll be nice." I refriended him a few days later, or whatever. So who knows whether that was intentional or deliberate? I don't care. I'm not begging DBF to be his friend on Discord anymore. Point is, what I'm trying to say is, I'm not begging to be anyone's friend. But if I make a friend on Discord, they just sit there. Whether I talk to them or not, they just sit there. But apparently these people feel passionate enough about me and their hatred of this Spurg to say, you're dead to me. But I can get over DBF because I never really liked DBF that much anyway. But dumb is surprising because there once upon a time, there were what I call happier days. Not that long ago. Kind of reminds me of Nirvana's cover, their cover version of Devo. Take a step outside the planet. It's pretty. The original Devo version is pretty good, but it's not really a rock song. It's like a Devo song. Like Nirvana did sort of a grunge punk power chord. Take a step outside the planet. It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary, and it's one. So I actually think I like the Devo version better, but the Devo version is very Devo. It's like mostly synthesizer. Take a step outside yourself, and you turn around. Take a look at where you are. It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. And the Nirvana version was more like power chord grunt. It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. Okay. Anyway, where was I going? Okay, sorry. All right. So we're getting back. Well, what's weird about dumb? Hold on. I'm not sure who this is. This is either DBF or one of his cronies. But that is accurate. I like Dev Pike. I get along with him. But I have my criticisms. Yeah, he wants to go on and on and say, Jesus Christ. He's still talking to people about that fucking just that coffee shop barista. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, so we've got Destroyed by Foids and his cronies, who Destroyed by Foids was so butthurt I guess he was butthurt after I.
Pussy hurt.
Yeah, bussy hurt. He was so bussy hurt, he deleted me. Fine. If that makes you feel good, fine, pal. But you still come. It's like the weird. He deletes me, but he still comes around. I'm the opposite. I'm never coming to your place again. But your phone, your entry could just collect dust in my phone book. I don't care. Anyway, it's not the point. Let's go back to just someone more important. I actually like this dude. I thought he was my real life buddy. Okay. Anyway, so what happens if you go back? I'm not gonna rehash all this. If you go back a couple streams ago, I'm trying to see what stream it was. Hold on. There's a couple streams back. Not the last. I think it was 2 streams ago. I think. I don't remember. You'd gone to bed. I think it was that one. The name of the stream is.
It was that one all the way to the right.
Okay, it was called Rome Wasn't Built in a Stream, but it was clearly destroyed in a stream.
Yes.
Rome. It features mostly Donda and a brief view of Chris Dubs. Dubs came on during his lunch break briefly. So what had happened during that stream? The stream was odd. Dum was kind of bitchy from the get-go, and he started getting more and more testy. And the funny thing was, I wasn't going to take calls. But his girlfriend or fiance, Donda, who I thought was our mutual friend, Donda said, I would say drop a link. So I said, sure. So I dropped the link, and I spoke to Donda for quite a bit. We talked about Indian corn and Boston, other shit, whatever. And Chris Dubs came on briefly. But the whole time, I'm talking to Donna, and Donna's in a positive mood. Dum is getting bitchier and nastier. He won't come on camera. He's going on about, he only cares about himself. I'm like, my God. And but here's what gets me. Afterwards, I went on Discord. Like I said, I don't use Discord too often. The only 2 people who I really converse with on Discord are Dev Pike and Cassandra, the one who insisted I get Discord. So I said, hey, Cassandra, I need a normie female opinion. I said, I need a woman's opinion, and you're a normie, so I want your opinion on something. And she said, yeah, what is it? I said, well, you were watching, because another reason I asked her, she was watching the stream. I said, you were watching that stream. Dum was getting kind of testy. And she agreed. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but she basically agreed. She said, yeah, Dum seemed kind of pissed. And I said, yeah, Spurgs like me go through this. Like, I think someone's my friend or my buddy or at least my acquaintance, and then they suddenly turn. Like, I told the story, I'll tell it again. Years ago, I was working at a gas station. And in New Jersey, all gas stations, gasoline, petroleum, all gas stations require that they hire pumpers. You're not allowed to pump your own gas in the state, okay, which is rare. But I was working at a gas station with this other kid. His name was Colin. And Colin and I got along. We weren't friends, but we were friendly acquaintances. We got along on the job, never had a problem with him, liked the guy. Apparently, one day, I allegedly said something that pissed him off. To this day, I don't know what it was. The next time he and I worked together, by the way, if he was pissed off, he didn't show it that day. The next time, apparently he decided he was upset with me, and he was giving me the cold shoulder, but it was in such a way that I couldn't pick up that he was mad at me. I could tell something was different. I could tell something was off. I thought he was either sick or like a family member died. I never picked up that he was angry with me or giving me the cold shoulder. I thought, because I said to him, oh yeah, man, you seem out of it. Like he was staying away from me, but it wasn't as obvious as screw you. It was more like he seemed like almost like sad and like either I couldn't tell if he was about to cry or about to fucking vomit. So Colin was acting weird, and I just said, okay, he must be going through something, nothing to do with me. There was another kid who worked there. His name was Kevin. And like a few days later, I was working with Kevin, and Kevin's the one who clued me in. He said, yeah, Colin told me he was upset with you. You said something you didn't like, so he was giving you the cold shoulder. And I said, oh, that's what that was. I knew something was different, but I mean, if I came in one day and said, man, you're a motherfucker, fuck you, I'm going to fuck your girlfriend, you piece of shit, fuck you, I can understand why he'd say, go to hell. I couldn't think of what it was I did to offend him. And if we were really buddies, if Colin and I were really buddies, he should have said, look, man, you upset me, but we're still buddies. Let's just try to work together. He just went from we're buddies to I hate you now. And Dum is doing the same thing. So I asked Cassandra, I said, see, Cassandra, Spurgs, I asked Kevin, by the way, Kevin, the one who clued me in. Kevin talked to Colin. Kevin informed me that Colin was giving me the cold shoulder, even though I couldn't pick up on it. I said, Kevin, what was Colin so upset about? And Kevin goes, gee, I don't know. He just said something you said pissed him off, but he didn't elaborate. I said, wow. So I pissed him off somehow, but it wasn't anything obvious, and it wasn't anything that he can put a finger on. Okay. But that's why I thought it was a little odd. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, not in my 40s, but still a bit disheartening. So, first so far, what do you think of the story? I need a sip of beer here. And we need another beer?
I think we might, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how are these? These are the last of our We'll finish this one, and I'll get a freezer beer. All right.
Okay, so you're saying Dumb was testy on that stream, and then he unfriended you from Discord.
Well, he was testing on the stream. No, something else happened. He was testing on the stream. He hadn't unfriended me yet. I asked Cassandra for her opinion, and Cassandra gave me what a lot of normies say. Oh, well, she said, well, I think Dumb sees you as a special friend. And I said, yeah, I'm special. I'm a fucking retard. I'm a spurg. He never saw me as a real human being. No, I don't mean special as in retarded. I mean special as in you're unique. I said, well, okay, but if that's true, if Dumb and I are if I'm a unique friend, even if he's upset with me, why not say, look, in the interest of our friendship, let me try to work it out and express why I'm upset instead of like immediately saying you're dead to me. And Cassandra, remember, I didn't know he had deleted me yet. Cassandra goes, oh, well, she starts putting the onus on me. Do you want to go and talk to him and ask him? I said, well, shouldn't the onus be on him? He can come to me and tell me what the problem is. I shouldn't have to beg for his forgiveness. And she goes, well, no, maybe OC, you should be the bigger man. And then she says to me, I'm paraphrasing, Cassandra says, I'll have to go back and rewatch the stream to find out what that thing was that pissed him off. And I said, hold on. You were there during the streaming. There was nothing obvious. Like if I came on stream and I said, Dumb, you're a piece of shit. I really fucking hate you. I'm coming to Australia. I'm going to rape you. If I had done something like that, it would have been obvious. I said to Cassandra, there was nothing obvious. If you've got to go back and start nitpicking to find some joke I made or some line or something, if you got to do that, if you got to go through all that effort, then clearly whatever the thing was, it wasn't as big a thing. Right.
You're saying that he was testy the moment he came on, right?
And it seemed to get progressively worse.
So whatever this issue was, it was pre that stream, it sounds like.
Possibly, but it seemed to get worse as the stream was going on.
Oh, yeah, so something happened in a previous stream that upset him, and I guess just...
So we got to speculate. But here's something else I want to say. Talking about women, and what did Dub say here? Women are more emotionally intelligent. Even Donda, who is his fiancée. Donda, who was... In fact, the reason I brought him on, Donda asked me, she said, OC, drop a link. So Donda asked to come on the show. So Donda's there. She's getting along with me. She's scratching her head. I don't know why Dumb's upset. Cassandra is like, well, you're a special friend, and you should be the bigger man and see what the problem is. And I want to go back and see what the thing was. I said, look, if you got to go back and nitpick with a fine tooth comb, then whatever the thing I did was, it wasn't big enough a thing to lead to this. You know what I'm saying?
It's not obvious to
right
viewers here.
The thing, I'm going to type this. The thing isn't big enough of a thing to merit Dumb's hostility.
Actions.
Let's use the word hostility. Hold on. I don't know, but this goes beyond Dumb. This is almost because you Starlings can see it in real time. What I'm talking about, okay. Oh, it's a little different though because he and I were actually, I thought, friends. So it's a little different, but even if you go back and say, aha, OC. At the 42 minute and 27 second mark, you said this, and that might have upset him. It's like if you've got to go back with a fine tooth comb, then obviously the thing wasn't big enough to justify his actions, to merit his hostility. So instead of
it's big enough for him. That's the thing.
No, but if we were truly friends, you know what I mean. Well, I told Cassandra. So afterwards, what happened was after I realized that Dumb had unfriended me, I actually contacted Cassandra again. I said, I want to tell you something in confidence. You can tell your boyfriend Seymour, but don't tell the Starlings until I stream. She goes, what is it? What is it? I said, remember how I told you DBF unfriended me? She goes, yeah. I said, yeah, who cares about him? But I said, guess who else has defriended me? She goes, who? I said, Dumb. Because in many ways, these two assholes in Australia, DBF and Dumb are like two heads of the same serpent, fighting over the same roasty, being my friend and then immediately throwing me under the bus. Typical. Cassandra was surprised. I said, see, Cassandra, like I told you, Cassandra, if you got to go back and try to find the thing, it wasn't big enough to merit this. You were there, Cassandra. Donda was there. She was scratching her head. There's no one aha moment where you can say, and Cassandra's trying to tell me, because you're Dumb's special friend, special as in a good, he likes you, he'll be more forgiving. No, I told her, I said, listen, Cassandra, Dumb's unfriended me too. I can't go back and even be the bigger man like you suggested if I wanted to. And don't take my word for it, Cassandra. Do not take my word for it. And I'll even show you. Here's how we can prove it. I'm going to prove it to you. And I told Cassandra to do this. Okay, here we go. Let me share a screen. I'll show you. I'll share. So no, how do I share screen? Where the hell am I? Oh, here we go. And it's not big, but I said to Cassandra, I said, you can see on Discord, you can see mutual friends. If you look at me and Cassandra are friends, and if you look at our mutual friends list, Don is there, but Dumb is not. So he said, see that? Dumb is no longer my friend. He's friends with you. So it's isn't even woe is me. It's more like, okay, once again, a Spurg doesn't get it. And normies, the oblivious normies, I'm so glad this happened. This is great. Oblivious normies will go back and say, I watched the video. I think it was this. I think it was X. God damn. I think it was X, Y, or Z. And I'll say to them, well, normies, when you were there in the moment, do you think I was so out of line? Oh, no, I'm actually surprised Dumb is acting this way. So then don't tell me what your theory is. Clearly, I didn't do anything to merit this sort of treatment. But I'm a fucking Spurg. And a failed normie like Dumb never, just like failed normie DBF, never saw me as a true friend. I was the means to an end. They identified me in a broad fuck up kind of way, but like typical normies, just throw into the bus for whatever reason. I'm assuming it's Donda related because, but I don't know. But Donda thought we were friends. It's not like Dumb didn't even go to his woman and say, "Listen, I'm tired of OC. Don't go on his chat. Don't ask for a link. I don't want to talk to him. I'm pissed." Donda was confused, so Dumb didn't even tell his lady love what the problem was. So no one seems to know. You can't point to an obvious OC. You were totally out of line. There was no out of line moment. Once again, I'm thrown under the bus as a Spurgzar, and you can say whatever you want about me. Oh, OC, you're the... People just give general things. Oh, you can be abrasive sometimes. Oh, OC, you can be a little too critical. OC, you got your hair part in the middle. OC, you're wearing a red shirt. People grasp at random straws. No one ever stops and says, okay, OC, forget about you for a minute. Yeah, I can't see anything you did in the moment. I was there. Nothing justifies this. Wow, this is really bizarre behavior. I guess Dumb was never really your friend to begin with. I see what you're getting at when you say you can't trust fucking normies. They'll throw you under the bus first chance they get, even when you think there's a friendship there. And like I said, Donda and Cassandra are both equally as confused by the whole thing. So, as Dubs was saying, women are more... Two normie girls told me, we don't know what's going on. Okay, good to share that. But yes. Yes, I will repeat it. Dumb and I are the best of friends. I'm going to his wedding to be his best man. And Destroyed by Foids we've patched things up. I'm actually going to bunk with Destroyed by Foids, and he's going to come too. I even said to Destroyed by Foids, said, maybe you should be the best man. And Dumb agreed. Dumb said, yes, we're all friends now again. So DBF will be the best man. DBF was like, no, as much as I'd like to be, I was so moved by you going to visit Dumb in Pennsylvania that I want to see the two of you next to each other. So we all we are going to cut the cake and put each other's mouths together. Okay.
DBF is going to be the maid of honor.
Yes. So we're
happy to do so.
Yes. Good news, happy news. No, but like I said, like I consider Dumb some kind of friend or something. And once again, I would think as a Spurg who doesn't know anything about friendship and how you normies think, I would think that if people are close, if they're good friends, we know friends drift apart, but it would be more gradual. To go from, hey, we're buddies, when are you going to stream again? I want to see you on my stream, to, fuck you, you're dead to me. It's like I said, it's like DBF did the same thing. DBF, I didn't care because who gives a shit about him. But Dumb, I met the guy in real life. We sat down, we went on a mandate. A mandate for a mandate. I like that. We had a mandate. We had a mandate for a mandate. I kept saying, I want to meet you before you go to Australia. I'd like to meet you. We had this mandate to have a literal mandate, and we made it happen. And given our alleged or perceived closeness, you wouldn't think it would fall apart. I wouldn't think. Even if I were an outside observer, this was someone else's story, I'd say, based on how close they were, even if they have a falling out, it shouldn't happen that dramatically. Dumb didn't even explain what the problem was, so we're seeing Dumb's true colors. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I want to point this out to you, Starlings, because it can be real to you. You can see it in real time, and it can be an allegory for when I tell my fucking stories. It's easy to blame me for everything, but it's like my shrink does. Well, maybe you're too sarcastic, you're too this, you're too that. I'm like, no, man, I'm that way in response to how I'm fucking treated. And I even said to Cassandra, explain to me what I did in the moment. What was the obvious aha moment where Dumb said, you're dead to me? I don't know. Everything seemed fine to me. So, and even Donna said this. So these women can't even figure it out. So no, you can't blame this on me. This is Dumb. Like like his butt buddy DBF. It's like, Christ, a Spurg can't be friends with failed normies, apparently. So, you want to say something?
Okay.
I need a beer in a minute.
As do I, yes.
Oh, okay. See, Penny, here's the problem. Whether you're trolling or telling the truth, as I've told you, I am a Spurg. You saw my diagnoses. I'm a Spurg, so I really can't read people. Brother Click is what they call, we've come to call Spurg, like Rafterman. Rafterman and Brother Click aren't Spurgs, but they're Spurg adjacent. I'm going to get the beer. You can ask, did you think Dumb was being insincere? One thing I thought about Dumb, either he's a really good actor or I really am naive. He seemed genuine. I didn't think we'd be friends. So I even said to my brother, once he goes to Australia, we'll never see him again. But he seemed like a genuinely sincere and decent person. Maybe I misread the situation. What do you think, Brother Click?
No, we all got along. We had a nice time.
He seemed like he was.
I don't know what's happened between then and now. I go to bed sometimes. I don't know what happens on these streams or whatever videos my brother posts. I don't know how accurate his assessment is, or I don't know. Could be something else. I mean, Dumb is in a transitionatory period. Maybe that's factoring in. All I know is what he's saying. We don't know what Dumb's side is.
Should I put a couple more beers in the freezer? Or...
Yeah, go right ahead.
Just two. I'm glad it's good to talk. It's not the alcohol.
So what do you guys think about this? Is he blowing it out of proportions? Will Dumb come back one day and say, oh, hey, I was in a bad space? What do you guys think?
Bad space. He was a happy ever after. It's funny. I was telling the truth. I was happy for him when he got with Don. I said, okay, because he's a failed normie. He needs this happy ever after. So I know others want him to fail. He thought I wanted him to fail. I said, no, you idiot. And I think I was happy. I was genuinely happy. And I think Donda even thought the way Cassandra thought. Donda and Cassandra both said, wow, you guys have this bromance. So it's not just me. You tell me that I was fooled, but but really in the long run, this is more of an allegory. When I tell stories about like how I thought he and I got along, all of a sudden he turns on me. Like I said, if I get along with someone, let's say I get along with someone, and one day they start acting like an asshole, I'd be put off, but I wouldn't throw away our pre-existing friendship or acquaintanceship over one bad day. I might address the situation, and who knows, if it wasn't going to work out, we might drift apart. But I wouldn't say, I get along with this guy, but today I'm kind of pissed. I don't like the shirt he's wearing, or I don't like, some little sentence, some joke he made. I don't like him. Fuck you forever. Like, to me, it seems strange to take all this time, especially as a Spurg, who, I have a hard time reading people, take all this time and effort to build trust and rapport with someone just to throw it out the window over a potential misunderstanding. If you really have the kind of rapport you think you do, it shouldn't even come to this. So I'm realizing now that, okay, Dumb was never really my buddy. I didn't think of him as a lifelong friend. I just thought him as like some guy. I found him interesting. We met in real life. You see, I thought he was a cool dude. I thought we were cool. And if we ever have disagreements, we could always get it back together. How we go from immediate, fuck you, you're dead to me. Well, hey. But this is just allegorical for the rest of for everything else that's happened in my life that I'll share with you, because at least we'll use this as a point of reference. When I'm telling a story, like earlier this stream, I was talking about how my ideal life, and Penny Pounder thought I was boasting about being a normie. I said, no, if I was a normie, I wouldn't think like this. He told 180 of what I was saying. Dubs first thought I was boasting and bragging, then thought I was being sarcastic. Neither. I was fantasizing about what I'd like to have. It's like little things like that I could explain over and over and over again. So I know when I tell my stories, you idiots will get confused, but I'll always say, it's like a parable. Go back to Dumb. I thought he was my friend. You guys thought he was my friend. He turned on me in a dime, just like his butt buddy DBF, the two of them, two heads of the same disgusting serpent. Thank God that hideous serpent is now fully contained to Australia. We had one was 3.5 hours away, a little too close to home, but now that hideous serpent is in New South Wales. Thank God, that two-headed monster. My God. Well, actually, that's part of it too. If Dumb was really upset with me and Donda didn't know it, he was too afraid to be honest and confide in his woman. He probably thought, if I tell Donna why I'm upset with OC, she'll think I'm a bitch. Rightfully so. rightfully so, but he's probably too afraid to tell his lady love. So Donna's like, oh, I don't get it. I thought you guys had a bromance. I think Dum realized if he told Donna, I'm mad at OC, she'd see him as a bitch, basically. I'm speculating because I'm kind of turned off by Dum's behavior. Of course, man. I wish I were. What's that song by Skilo? I wish I were. I wish I were a rapper. I wish I were a little bit taller. I wish I was Skilo, the rapper. Yeah, I wish I was 6'5". I wish well, I'd be lying if I said I admire you guys. Supposedly have big dicks, but I wouldn't want to be black. No, I'm glad I'm not black. I'm glad I got a full head of hair. Yeah, I wish I was taller. I wish I had money. I wish I was a normie. Of course, I wish I was a normie. I never denied that. That's not even what I was talking about. Hence, you're proving my point. You people don't listen. I say one little thing, you totally misconstrue and go in the wrong direction. Comprehension is very difficult for you people. So I'm going to use this dumb thing I'm telling you now. If you remember it, if you digest it, it'll be my parable for other stories of my life, because I don't think I did anything so horrible that Dum, who was allegedly my buddy, inviting me into his house, wants to, unfriend me and delete me. You're dead to me. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because failed normies. I'm glad he has, even with his happily ever after, he's still a fucking failed normie who behaves just like a failed fucking normie. Yes. The two-headed monster that is Dum and DBF is now fully confined to New South Wales. May it stay there. May it die there. May it rot there. Terrible. All right, where are we going with this? But a couple of things. I remember, Dum would complain, Todd doesn't talk to me anymore. Todd, I emailed him. I sent him a special video. Todd. I'm like, well, if you don't like when Todd does that to you, how could you in good conscience do that to anybody else? But I guess failed normies don't think that way. Dum has no qualms behaving. He complains when someone does it to him, but has no problems doing it to someone else. So you see the hypocrisy. You see, it's a shame. I always thought we'd get it back together. I didn't think it would be this bad, but I'm pouring my heart out, and the Starlings are just. Remember the story. It'll be a parable. I'll probably reference this again. Anyway. You pissed that nigger bitch off. You pissed off the guy in liquor store. No, the punishment didn't fit the crime. And I'll say, remember the Dum parable? Remember the James parable? And you'll say, oh, okay.
Who's James? Yeah, thanks, Starlings.
Cassandra, I don't know if you heard any of that. I was paraphrasing, but isn't this... If you heard my story, it's more or less accurate. Thank you for keeping it in the bottle until I shared. Well, no, we were actually talking about you a moment ago. You're a tier, you're not a Spurg. You're not a failed normie. You're like my brother. You're in a Spurg adjacent. We were talking about you, yeah. Spurg adjacent. Yes. But like you said, I don't know, was Dum just faking it the whole time? I thought he seemed kindly, but
No, he was a nice guy.
I wouldn't have expected this behavior. I thought we got along well enough that if there was a problem, he would still make an attempt at least. I can understand, if you have a falling out with someone and you try to get it back together, if it doesn't work, fine, you drift apart. But to go from, we're the best of buddies to, you've pissed me off, now you're dead to me, it shows that he was never really my friend to begin with. So when Cassandra's like, oh, OC, you should try to make amends for the sake of your friendship. Well, I couldn't do it if I wanted to. He's Moro Moriarty. Is that what they call it? Dead to me? What's that Latin term? I looked that up. They would destroy their photos. It's not non-sentient. Christ. I'm probably saying it wrong. God damn. When the Romans would, if someone was disgraced to the family,
Morto,
they would go back and destroy their Morto, Morier, Roman, Morto. Oh, damnatio. There it is. Damnatio memoriae. That's what I'm talking. Okay, that's the term. I couldn't remember. It's been a while. Yes. Damnatio memoriae. And here's a great photo. This is a great photo. Let me show this. I love this. This is why I do this shit. Who else would care about this? If I can find it. Where is it? Okay. Share screen. Hold on. Why would this... I have this open. What? It's hard. They changed the fucking thing around. Here it is. Okay, notice how the boy, they got to be adults, and the boy dishonored the family. We can look into the story if you want. And so the other brother who you see there went back and basically destroyed his image. You're dead to me, and they called it damnatio memoriae. It's no, like I said, my mother never went through with a black magic marker and began crossing out people. She just said, okay, I haven't spoken to so and so in so long. Their address just sits there collecting dust, but I'm not going to I never understood the dead to me thing. So the two-headed serpent that like I said, DBF and Dumb have both done this to me. For why, I don't know. It shows we're never really friends, and it shows that they're much more emotional than I thought. And I think back, like I said, to where is it? I think back to happier times. Happier days. Happier days. Oh well. And again, not the end of the world, but this will be used as a parable when I tell my stories. This is how I get treated in life. And to answer, which is in reference. Well, you missed it, but I will repeat this. I don't know. So what I did was I said, let me get a woman's idea, because women are supposedly more socially smart than men are. And Cassandra's a normie and Donna's a normie. Both of them. Cassandra herself said, "Oh, you and Dumb are special friends. You should be the bigger man and ask him what the problem is. I'm sure they'll get back together." Cassandra was shocked when she found out he reacted by cutting me off. Even Donda doesn't know. All I know is the last time he streamed with me, he was getting really testy, salty, as Donda said. But I understand why. And Cassandra, you have to admit, go back with a fine-tooth comb if you want. There was no aha moment. Like I said earlier, I'm going to post that one more time. This is good. This is actually, I'm glad I streamed. This will be a reference point when I tell the stories of my life. That was just another example of the problems. Where was that thing I wrote about the thing? Christ. If you got to go back with a fine-tooth comb and say, aha, OC, at, 52 minutes and 72 seconds, or 32 seconds, you said this. That must be it. If you got to go back and do that, then there was no obvious catalyst. The thing isn't big enough of a thing to merit that sort of behavior. So Dumb was never my buddy to begin with. It's sad, but it's. I'm not surprised given my track record in life, but I'm asking you guys for help, my normie starlings, because I'm a Spurg, and whenever I ask people, they don't give me straight answers. Just, oh, well, maybe you said this. Maybe you can be. Look at me, generalities. Maybe you're too abrasive. Well, maybe you're a little too sarcastic. Maybe you're too. Let's start listing off. Maybe your shirt's too red. What? It's like no one can say, yeah, OC, you came in the chat. You threatened to stab him with a knife and fuck his woman. Okay, that's an obvious. There's no obvious reason for Dumb to behave the way he's behaving, and even if he's upset about something, I would have thought, and apparently you Starlings as well would have thought that our friendship was a little more solid, that it shouldn't have gone to this level that quickly. But Dumb is just another DBF, just another fucking failed normie who, in his heart, hates Spurgs for no apparent reason. And the two-headed monster is now confined to fucking New South Wales. Let it die there. Someone slay the beast. Christ. I don't know, Cassandra. Like I said, Cassandra. I'm asking for you. I'm asking for an outside observer. You're not me. You're not James. You're an outside observer, and you yourself can't put a finger on it. So I know down the road, when I tell my stories, my shrank other normies like to say, "Well, OC, it's your fault because of X, Y, Z," and they give me generalities. I'm asking you specifically, what did I do in this moment that would totally destroy what seemed like a solid friendship? Explain to me, Cassandra. Because if you can't, then the onus is not on me. But this is how Spurgs get treated. This is a message. It's more about the message. So I'm actually glad Dumb did this. I can try to convey this message. Maybe someone will climb half a step up from my stories. What do you now? This is the first time you're getting tired. First time you heard the story. What do you think?
Stop. I don't even know what happened.
I'm just moving the microphone.
You can't be trusted. Who knows what you said or didn't say? We're getting a very one-sided.
Well, but hold on. Again, even my brother, the Spurg adjacent, is doing what normies do. Who knows what you did or didn't say? You can go back and picked with a fine-tooth comb. I didn't say anything that would lead to this, and don't take my word for it. Ask the witnesses. You've got Donda herself, who's physically there with Dum. I don't understand why he's so salty. You got Cassandra saying, "Gee, wasn't he proclaiming his love for you not too long before?" What? Even they can't. So you can say, "Well, it's one side." You can play that game as normies always do, but even the people who were there can't point to, there was no specific moment. And don't take my word. Ask the fucking people who were there. Ask the observers.
Well, ask James.
Damnatio Moriarty, whatever it's called, Damnatio Memoria. The person we should ask is this bitch who's here but not really helping, not offering any, Yeah, it's funny. You played me for a fool, then Dum played me for a fool, and I guess you feel you were played for a fool. Destroyed by Freud's, I expected this from you. I was hoping Dum would be like a notch above, but I can see Donda has a type, and I'm the fool. Maybe I have a type too. I'm the fool who gets the fool Spurg, who gets his precious little Spurg heart broken by failed normies. Christ. Actually, you're probably right. You're Afterman, you're probably right. But if we're going to ask this woman for her opinion, she was actually there. Don't you take my word. Who knows what was said? You can go back with a fine-tooth comb. I'm going to say it again to you, asshole. If you got to nitpick to find the thing, then it clearly wasn't that big a thing. It would have to be obvious. If there's no obvious thing...
Not necessarily. It could have been a dozen small things.
And why didn't you speak up and say, your dozens of small things are bothering me? As friends, I don't want it to go in this direction. He didn't even...
Perhaps he did. Perhaps
okay, we're making... You're being an apologist for numbnuts. I'm tired of... I've gotten to an age where I don't want to apologize for the terrible normie behavior. I'm getting tired of it. And what's his name? Dum, who cries, Todd won't come to my wedding. It's like, well, if you don't like being ghosted, why would you do that to someone without explanation? You're no better than him. But then again, with Todd, I do understand with him, he's a Spurg. If you thought Todd was going to come to your wedding and be your best man, you're kind of stupid to begin with. But the point is, it's terrible behavior. But this is what, Spurgs like me have to deal with. Exactly. See, that's right. Cassandra, you and I are on the same page for once. My brother always likes to play devil's advocate at my expense.
No. See, again, she's saying...
Read what she says. You're right, buddy. Yeah. It could have been a dozen. You're right. It could have been, instead of one big thing, it could have been a dozen small things. You're right. Yeah. However, read the next half, idiot.
That's what I said. We need to hear from James.
It's crazy for him to not tell you at all what the things are that bothered him. Yeah. Well, instead of telling me, he decided to ghost me, dead to me. So Cassandra's correct. Stop being an apologist. Stop trying to make it always my fault. It's easy. My family's always done this. I'm the scapegoat. I'm the black sheep. If anything goes wrong, let's blame him. There was one time, not that long ago, before my father was released from the institution, my mother was here. I was at work. My sister came over. She lives about an hour and a half north of here. She came over, and she and my mother were doing something. They were cleaning something out or going through something. I don't know. I wasn't here, but my brother was. My brother was here, and apparently my mother and sister started getting testy with one another. I don't know who pissed my sister. It was probably my sister being a bitch. Somebody pissed someone off, and my mother lost it. And instead of scolding my sister, she looks at my sister and says, "Oh, see, you're pissing me off." And my sister looked. I'm not OC, I'm your daughter. Oh, it was so reactionary. My mother had it in her head, every time I'm pissed, it must be my son OC's fault. That, even though I wasn't there, I had nothing to do with this. My mother was upset with my sister. She was so programmed to just blame me because I'm an easy scapegoat, an easy target. Remember that? You told me the story. You
I remember that, yeah.
She called our sister my name. Our mother referred to our sister, a girl, as my name because it was a force of habit. And even my sister's like, huh? And it has nothing to do with me. Whatever they were upset about had nothing to do with me. They were getting pissy with each other.
Yes, they were.
No, I wasn't even here. Whatever they were getting upset about, it wasn't even like, oh, I did something stupid and now they have to clean, like I made a mess and they have to clean up. Whatever they were mad about didn't even pertain to me. It was not me related whatsoever. My mother instinctively shouted my name because she was frustrated. And every time she gets frustrated with someone, I guess she assumes I'm the default go-to guy. Yeah, so again, don't be an apologist. Maybe it was a business of things, but like I said...
Here we go. I'm an apologist. He can be very crass, very harsh with people, and he laughs it off as if it's no big deal. Dum disappears. He's having a massive tantrum.
Not disappears.
Yes, disappears.
No.
Yes.
That's not true. You're wrong.
No,
Let's say... I'm going to explain to you why you're wrong. You can disagree. Here, Like I was talking about the phone book analogy. Let's say Dumb never spoke to me again. He was just a silent friend. I probably wouldn't even notice. It was when I realized, oh, he unfriended me. That's a pretty strong. You're like damnation, Moriarty, whatever it is. Whatever it is.
It's a strong message.
It's a very strong message.
Whatever subtle messages he sent didn't work. So
I don't want. I'm a Spurg. I don't want subtle messages, and I don't want emotional bullshit. I want honesty, straightness. Hey, tell it to me straight. Don't you did it, and don't you did to me now. Fucking failed normies, go fuck yourselves, and you'll never be friends with any other Spurgs that's how you're gonna react. So when you say, "Why doesn't Todd come to my wedding?" Because you're a fucking asshole, failed normie who doesn't know how to be straight with fucking Spurgs, you piece of shit. And I'm mad because not even that dumb. You know damn well. Had Dumb not unfriended me, he just didn't talk to me, I probably would have noticed for weeks. I barely go on Discord. It was when I saw he unfriended me that's like, huh, that's quite the message. What the fuck is his problem? Yes, it's actions speak louder than words.
Okay.
So he was never my friend to begin with, because if we were the friends we thought we were, he wouldn't have even done that. So stop trying to blame me like my mother and my sister and everyone else in my fucking family, because I'm getting tired of it.
What's this blame you nonsense? We're just trying to...
Ask the fucking Starlings with it.
Well, they're talking. I don't know what they're saying.
Well, what did you say, buddy? When we went to go visit Dumb, you said, oh, what'd you say about emotions? I'm emotional.
Yeah, I said, you're emotional. He's emotional. This is going to be a challenging day for me.
Exactly. See, Cassandra gets it. I actually do think women, particularly normie women, do have a place because they seem to be better socially understanding, even though Cassandra was wrong when she said, you're a special friend to Dumb. He likes you a lot. You should be the bigger man. You're wrong about that, but you're correct. He didn't disappear. He ghosted. Just like Todd ghosted him. Exactly. It sends a message. Yes. It was the action. He could have come to me and said, man, I'm happy we're buddies. Or he could have ignored me. I wouldn't even noticed. When he decided, just like his buddy DBF, I didn't care when DBF did it. I thought it was petty. It's a little upsetting that Dumb did it, because I felt I had stronger feelings for Dumb than I ever had for DBF. I met the guy in real life, man. DBF was just some dude on the internet who I can't get rid of. Dead to me, but he still comes up with multiple odds. Dumb, I was a little like, again, this happens. And when I try to talk about it, instead of saying, wow, that's fucked up, I get my own brother saying, well, again, my brother's doing everything that I criticize people for doing. You're giving me general, vague nonsense. There was no, the crime, the crime doesn't fit the punishment.
He just spent an hour and 15 minutes. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Okay, let's try to come up with some answers. Oh, fuck that answer. Fuck that answer. Like, screw you, buddy.
Okay, there we go. Okay. I don't think that's what I'm saying. It was all an act, all facade. I thought we had something special, but we didn't.
Why was it an act? Maybe you did, but then it changed over time.
I'll explain in a minute. Totem, one thing I can tell you is some wisdom. High school never ends. I wish it did. So I keep getting sucked back into high school bullshit. Well, I can't escape my fate. Believe me, I've been plenty of jobs, plenty of work. I've seen people much older than me. Hey, the schoolyard bully wanted to break my jaw, and the principal took his side. Okay, high school never ends. So don't give me that. Totem. You were smart before. You said, for every one smart thing you say, you undo it by saying 3 or 4 like utterly idiotic. Okay, so where were we? What were we saying? Well, you can't work things out if someone wants to cut off the ability to work things out. So that sends a pretty strong message. In fact, I should go back and read. Well, I still like the name of the stream, "DUM Dumped Me" and other tales, but this would be a good name for a stream too. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Damnatio memoria. I might not be pronouncing it correctly, but the idea that once upon a time we were happy. Now, like let's say my brother and I get pissed at each other. So I go back to photos from 20, 30, 40 years ago when we were kids, and I start like cutting out all the images of him when he was a little boy. You're dead to me. It's kind of like, wow, you're really taking this to a level of ridiculousness. Yes. So yes, Totem, it is high school shit, but I didn't ask for this. I was dragged into it. So here I am. It's like saying, I'm a pacifist. I don't want to go to war, man. That's great. But if the other country is going to invade you, you're going to have a war whether you want it or not. So whether you want to go to war or not, if another country is going to invade, there's going to be a war. In order for a war not to happen, 2 parties have to agree. So I don't want war. I do. There's going to be a war. Basically, it's 2 sides can want war or 1 side can want war. As long as one party wants war, there's going to be war regardless. Same thing. Two people can act high schoolish. One person can act high schoolish, but then we both get sucked into it. So it's But this is more of a parable of how I get treated in life in general. Of course she can't. She's got to stand by her man, and that's fine. I always said I was like Dumb thought we wanted him to fail. Maybe some people did. I was always very happy for you two. I thought we were buddies, and I thought I'm happy for you. But I guess he's afraid he's gonna look like a bitch if he tells the truth. And she's got to stand by her man. It's just typical normie shit. Well, it's like saying, that's a good question, Rafterman. You're like the one black dude at the all-white high school, first year of integration, and you're a nice, polite black man. You're not a thug. You're nice and polite, and all you want to do is go about your business and study and be left alone. But the jocks beat you up. Then, the girls throw hot coffee on you, and the principal gives you a detention because someone copies off of your test, so they assume you must be the copier. And basically, they're being racist towards you, and you're getting treated like shit. And someone comes along and says, well, you're the common denominator. Yeah, no shit. I'm the common denominator. In this case, the black dude's the common denominator because he's black, not because of anything he actually did or because he deserved it. Same thing. So yes, don't give me this normie shit. Yes, you're right. I am the common denominator, but that doesn't mean it's my fault. It shows how hated I am. Don't you get it? Climb a stair. Climb a fucking stair. Like the nigger, the first nigger in the all-white high school being treated like total shit for things he didn't do. He is the constant variable, but it's not his fault. He's being discriminated against. So yes. Well, what's the constant variable in the equation? Yeah, it's me. The equation, normies fucking hate Spurs. Yeah, great. Thanks. But you're trying to imply, well, it's your fault. It must be you, your actions. My shrink tried the same shit. I'll upload some more shrink videos. And I'm like, okay, let's say you're right. Tell me what I did. And the more we talk, the more I can see, holy shit, I'm 73 years old and my whole sense of the world is starting to fall. I think I'm scaring him. He didn't realize things like this went on, Mr. Psychologist. That's correct. And thank you, Cassandra. You really are my bestie. You really are a token bitch. You're a starling. Thank you. It's not even about taking my side. I wouldn't want you... Cassandra, if you disagree with me, say, OC, I think you're an asshole, which you've done before. But I like when... What I like about this isn't that Cassandra's agreeing with me for the sake of agreeing. Cassandra sees what I'm saying, and she's trying to... It's good to have a second voice who gets it and is articulating it, because otherwise I get ganged up on. Like my own brother. Well, you can be abrasive. True, that doesn't explain this. Well, I think they can get back together. Well, not if... So thank God it's not just me. An outside source is agreeing. Yeah, so okay. It's good to have outside validation. Validation really does mean something sometimes. Christ. I'm getting frustrated. It's reminding me of the rest of my life. Not just dumb. Like everything that's happened. And you, buddy. I mean, I know we get critical. I do appreciate your criticism, but it's like, come on, man. Fine. No, that was an analogy. An analogy. The black dude is the common denominator, but not because he's doing something. Like if you're a kleptomaniac and everyone wants to fire you or get you arrested, you're the common denominator because of your actions. You keep stealing shit. If you're just being discriminated against, you're still the common denominator, but not because of anything. You're hated for being. Hated for being. Hated for being. Not for doing. So there's both. Sometimes the common denominator is doing bad things, and it's his fault. Other times, people just hate you for being. This is an example of hated for being. So yes, I'm the common denominator, but not because of what I'm doing. It's because of being. You disagree with any of that? I mean, there's some truth to what I'm saying in a more general sense. I'll make it about dumb, because you know the guy too. In a general sense.
No, I think it's what you're doing and saying. Not just standing there. They want to attack you.
How dare you have an opinion, Spurg? It's okay if we dump on you, but how dare you even raise one objection? Yes, it's what I'm doing. Yes, of course it is. Yeah.
Yes, you don't seem to see that.
Well, I'm trying. No one's telling me what I'm doing. You can be vague generalities. No one can point to what I'm doing exactly.
You're berating and insulting people. You're annoying them, getting under their skin.
And say
you need to relent. You need to step back.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, here. OC, you're berating and annoying me. I'm getting kind of tired of you. We can still be friends, but I'm going to distance myself. If you don't want to be friends, hey, fuck it. I won't talk to you again. Fine. Ghosting me without explanation, that's a pretty extreme action for someone who's allegedly my buddy. I think so. At least giving me some. I think a lot of times it frustrates me in life with people. That's why this is a great analogy. It's not just about dumb. With people, is I never get an explanation. I try to ask them what's the problem. They don't give me a straight answer. They give me vague generalities or anger, or hostility. They think me asking. I come in peace. Tell me what the problem is. They think that's me trying to be antagonistic even more when I'm not. They've gotten the whole wrong idea about me and they run with it. Their minds can't be changed, which shows me. It shows me afterwards that you never respected me in the first place. Because if you did respect me, you'd say, even though you pissed me off, let me at least give you the benefit of the doubt once. They never try to give me the benefit of the doubt, meaning they hated me from the get-go, meaning it's about being, not doing. Yes. Thank you. That's someone who was actually there. This was 3 streams ago. This was the stream called Rome Wasn't Built in a Day, but it was destroyed in a day.
Stream.
What do I call it?
That day. Rome wasn't built in a stream.
Rome wasn't built in a stream, but it was destroyed in a stream. Yes, Rome wasn't built in the stream. I should go back and call it, but it was destroyed in one. Okay, I'll go back. ... But it was destroyed in one. Okay, I'll rename it. It was like 3 or 4 streams ago. Yep. Donna was physically. In fact, Donna was the one. Donna and I were getting along. Donna actually asked me for a link. She wanted to come on. I didn't beg her. I wasn't even going to take people on. So I said, okay. So she wanted to come on, and she did. And she and I got along swimmingly. Cassandra was there. A few others were talking about corn and other shit, Indian corn. And then, Dum kept getting more and more salty as he never came on camera. He kept getting more and more salty as the stream went on. I'm like, huh. Even Donna's like, I don't know why he's upset. There was no one aha moment. None of us, including me, know what I did or said that bothered him. Exactly. Well, maybe it's okay. Don't give me this crap. Explain to me flat out what I did. You don't know. You're just giving me vague generality.
Again, I didn't even see the stream.
Well, then pay attention to other. Don't just take my word for it.
Yeah. So basically, Dum reached his limit with you. How he got to this limit and what led up to that limit, we don't know.
Well, you can go back and watch, and you can take notes, and you can give me a whole whole paragraph. But there's never going to be that one aha moment, and nothing I did cumulatively should lead to that kind of punch.
I think you would have to watch the past 24 streams. And
if you got to do that, that's fucking ridiculous.
No,
if you got to go back to less than a month ago when we were buddy streaming in his living room. If you got to go back 3 years, that's fucking ridiculous. That I'm gonna another beer.
No,
that's fucking ridiculous,
Percy. That's
you just want to punch down on me.
That's not ridiculous at all. All these little jabs build up, and at some point, people break down, and they have emotional outbursts. For you to say that that's ridiculous is nonsense.
We don't know. We'll have to get another beer in a minute, or you can go to bed. All right. Right, that was the biggest indication that Dum was seriously upset, but we still don't know why exactly. There was no aha moment on my part, was I'm saying. There was no one moment you can say, oh, see, you did that. Oh, my God. I can see why Dum hates you now. And you yourself, Cassandra, when that first happened that night, you said, I think you guys are special friends. I said, yeah, he sees me as a fucking retard Spurg, not his real friend. And you said, no, I mean special as in, you're different. He really likes you. And yeah, but as you can see, typical Spurg hate. Well, it's easy to play the role when you literally are a victim. I'm not acting. This is real. Yeah, that's another thing. We didn't even know he was upset until he made it obvious, and then we didn't know why. So Dum did a very poor job. Dum did a poor job communicating. That's basically the story of my life. Normies don't communicate. They act. It's like we say women are emotional. A lot of dudes I've encountered are incredibly emotional. They act more with anger and violence, but they're incredibly emotional. And it's like, what's the problem? If I really pissed you off that badly and you respected me and I respect you, we could talk it out or try to figure it out. And if we have to go our separate ways, go our separate ways. The extreme responses seem overblown, but I'm a Spurg, so what do I know? Tell me it's all my fault. Go ahead. I've been listening to my whole life. Tell me it's all my fault because I'm the head. Go ahead, because that's all I'm going to hear. Go ahead.
Listen to this. It's all my fault. You call his fiancée a bitch multiple times. You made some crass sexual references about his future daughter-in-law multiple times. You don't stop. You don't relent, and now he's gone. Yeah, of course he's gone. Why did he leave me? I was so nice and so wonderful to him. Not really. You really made some very hurtful and harsh comments towards him. Stop. Oh, that's my way. He. Well, now look what you get.
To answer Penny Pounder's question, people don't have to orbit around me. They're free. We're in the same orbit. We can just go our separate ways. It's when people orbit around me and they want to do something to fuck up my orbit or make it clear. When people want to put an impact on my orbit is when I feel victimized. If Dumb says I'm tired of being in his orbit by okay, I wouldn't say we don't talk anymore. I guess I pissed him off. Oh well. It's when they do deliberate actions to fuck up my orbit is when that happens. Also, with you, Donna herself asked to come on. I assume we were all friends. If Dunn was really having a problem, he could have, as friends, he could have told me what the problem was. The fact that he didn't feel like he talked to me like that shows he was never really my friend to begin with. Why you upset when you come in?
Why he didn't express his upsetness, I don't know.
That's the problem. Yeah. That's what a Spurg doesn't get. Why don't you... Wait. No, Cassandra, this is not a pre-planned bit. If you think it is, I'll time you out because now you're pissing me off. You were spitting facts. You're the only one here who seemed to get it. A pre-planned bit. I think Penny Pounder said that, or was it Totem? Someone said this is all staged. No, I'm not an actor. Neither is. We're both feds. We got our big packet from Uncle Sam telling us, okay.
I think she's implying you and James pre-planned this.
That's what I'm saying. James and I pre-planned it. We're both feds. We both work for the government. This is all acting. He's been put on assignment in Australia at the CIA's office down in Sydney. In Sydney. And before going away, we had to have a big falling out to put on a show for you Starlings. Yes, it's all fake, and we're government workers. Come on. Yes, I know what she's saying, and now I'm getting pissed. That should imply that now. But see, this is like my shrink. Like I told you, if you were listening, I said my shrink is in his 70s, and I've been talking to him now for 2.5 years, and he does believe me. He says, I do believe your story. I said, look, if you don't believe me, you think I'm crazy, say so. And I think it's troubling him. I wouldn't say I'm blackpilling him, but I'm definitely making him realize that there are things in this world that he was oblivious to for 70 plus years of his life. Now he's realizing, holy shit, all my years on this world, I never experienced this, most people don't, but these things go on out there, and he seems like, I have no point of reference. So if he has no point of reference, and you Starlings don't, how do you put yourself in my shoes? In fact, don't believe me. Everything I've told you is a lie. Now pretend everything I told you is a screenplay I wrote. Okay? If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. Pretend it's all a story. It's all a lie. It's all make-believe. You're watching the movie. How do you think the main character would feel after a lifetime of this? So even if you don't want to believe me, how would a character in a story about all this feel? That's all I ask people to do. It's like no self-reflection, just blame the Spurg. Typical. And Dubs was actually there. He came on briefly. He talked to me and Donna. What does Dubs say? Read what Dubs says. You can disagree. You can go back and say disagree with Dubs, but at least hear someone else's side of the story.
I don't think OC was too out of line with the comments, but he even did acknowledge that the intent didn't land so well.
I don't recall acknowledging that, but I don't think it was pre-planned. I'm reacting to everyone else saying it's staged. Yeah. Well, I gotta take it. I expect you to at least. You seem to see the truth. At least I was hoping. And when I hear you say that, I'm like, Christ. And some of these Starlings, I don't know if they're idiots. Some of them are. They're not enough stairs ahead. Others might be trolling, but it's like, Christ, why would I make this up? When I talk it, forget. Before we continue, don't talk about me. Talk about you. When I told you, hey, buddy, I just found out today that Dumb defriended me on Discord. Yes. What was your first thoughts?
I was surprised. I mean, because I don't have a Discord. I don't use Discord. Again, I didn't think that would happen. Even though that wasn't on my mind. I don't know why that would happen, but yeah, I was surprised. I was honestly surprised. Yeah, so, well. Look who's here.
Who cares? The point is, this goes beyond dumb. When people keep saying we're the story, I want to tell my stories, but like I always tell my shrink, if these things hadn't happened to me, I wouldn't believe them. And so it's almost like I think they were out there. Of my stories, one might happen, but how many times in life do I? Most people have zero experiences like this. It's like instead of evenly distributed, I get multiple weird happenings that don't even seem real, but when most people get none. So most people have no point of reference. And even here, I'm telling you this story about numbnuts here. And you guys think we're acting or playing games. You think that because we got along so well. You're assuming, no, there's no way they had a real falling out. This must be an act. No, it's true. This is what us Spurgs go through. We're treated like garbage, and we're told it's our fault. When did he block Donna? I don't. It's like, who cares? I'm not even angry. It's just like I see Dumb's true colors. It's like, oh my god. All I can do now, before I develop Alzheimer's, all I can do are cherish the memories of what I call happier days. I guess, you know, I won't engage in what they call, what's it called? That Roman term. I'll think of the good times. I'll think of the happy memories. I remember that one June day in Zillinger, Pennsylvania, that one moment in time. I'll remember the good times. All I can do is remember the good times. I guess when normies, I've never had this, but I guess normies who are in long-term relationships and they break up and, they're all pissy with each other. They think back to the happier times. There was once upon a time I actually loved my wife. Yeah, because all you can do is look back on happier days. That's all you can do. But okay, but remember the story, people, because this is how Spurgs like me get treated all the time. Like, you wouldn't think it would happen. So next time you say, it's crazy. Dumb wouldn't ghost you. You guys are such buddies. You were at his house. You guys laid on the floor together. Even if he got mad with you, he wouldn't react like that. Yes. Normies do that. And I've had a lot of, crazy things happen to me that you'll say, impossible. That didn't happen. Believe me, this is kind of minor in the grand scheme of things, but this is true. Dumb did this, and this is it's Spurg's reality. I agree with Cassandra. It's not clear. It never will be. You'll never get a clear answer from normies. It just basically boils down to, even though my brother, normie is like a defense mechanism. Even my brother, Spurger Jason, is a defense mechanism. Oh yeah, you're always the victim. Yeah, I am the common denominator. What did I do? It's not clear. I'm glad Cassandra at least sees it. It's not clear. Explain to me what the problem is. But you didn't even do that. Instead of explaining to me, instead of saying, look, we're buddies, you've pissed me off, I want to tell you why, you didn't respect our friendship enough to come to me. You just behave like that. And this happens so many times. Every time with normies, I try to patch things up, they get even more hostile. It's like, it's going to be, wow, this is why I want to fucking meet. Yes. You believe my stories at least, right?
Yeah,
the nigger bitch, the guy in the grocery store, the faggot who poked me, the little shit who shoved me. What else? The guy who wanted to break my jaw. Well, that happened. I got a lie. There was a whole fucking settlement from it. The guy who wanted to break my jaw. These things fucking happen. I'm not making them up.
Yes, they do.
And we can disagree. I like that we don't always agree. You can call me an asshole. I don't mind it. You're entitled to your opinion. Maybe you're right, but I like to also fight back and say, well, wait a minute. So even though we get a little hot and testy, I like the fact that my brother might say, no, you're wrong. And I might say, well, this is why I think you're wrong. So you seem upset now.
No.
You getting tired?
A little tired.
Well, we'll end this at midnight. How's that sound? We'll call it a night. You go to bed. You haven't getting much sleep. You're off.
No.
Okay. Tomorrow's an off night. And Monday we're going to call the IRS and all that shit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Want to go at 10? We're going to go to bed now? I'll kill us in 10 minutes? Or?
No, let's see what's going on.
Well, I'm glad I said my piece because life will go on. And you might say the internet world is just bullshit, and it is. But, first, we met Dumb in real life. So it hurts a little more. I don't give a fuck about DBF, but, same thing, DBF, you're dead to me. It's like these failed normies, the way they get so hateful. Now the two-headed monster, the serpent that is DBF and Dumb, basically two halves of the same whole, the Aussie and the Yankee, they're now together on the beach in New South Wales. May the monster stay there. And more importantly, this will be a parable for when I tell my stories. I'll say, you don't believe that nigger bitch wanted to kill me? Why would you want to run me over nothing? No, remember the dumb story. People turn on me on a dime. It happens when you're a spurg. And blame me if you want, but if you got to grasp at straws and give me generality, that's why I got mad with my brother. What you're saying might be true. I'm abrasive. I'm this. I'm that. I'm that. But it's like the response. You act like you're my buddy, and then you just do a total 180 instead of saying, like, if you find me so abrasive and so off-putting, we wouldn't have been friends in the first place. If we really were friends like you were presenting to be, then you would raise issue with my abrasiveness, not act so emotionally. You know what I mean? So, like your buddy DBF. So that's how I see it. Like, these people were never my friends to begin with. These people have no problem either killing me or you're dead to me. But I'll never understand how you normies think. It's still, intellectually, I can observe it. It still doesn't come naturally to me. Blame me if you want. I just don't get it. I really am a retard. I'm a spurg. I don't get it. I really don't get it. That's all I can say anymore. But, oh. Okay. All right, we'll end this in a few minutes. I'm getting tired. I feel like it's good we had this. Good we talked this out. All we can do is remember happier days and go from there. But this dude, again, he's so fucking dramatic that I can't get rid of him. Like guys, I'm the kind of guy, like, you don't want to be friends, just go away. We'll stop you now. I don't feel the need to do damnatio memoriae, whatever, however you pronounce it. Damnatio memoriae, how would you pronounce it? How do you think?
Damnatio memoriae.
Right. If you don't want to be friends, we don't be friends. You want to go? Hey, I'm very easy. We're in the same orbit. You want to switch orbits? Okay. And maybe it's sad. Maybe I'll think, wow, maybe things could have been different. But life goes on. You go your way, I go mine. I'll survive. I will survive. But when someone I thought was my buddy does something so dramatic to me, and it's like, I don't get, once again, I'm a spurg who doesn't get it. And maybe it is all my fault, but again, I don't get it. I really am the victim of the fact that I just don't get it. You keep telling me these things, and all I hear are generalities. I don't understand what this to prompt. Unless these people are super emotional, like one day they like bipolar. I love you, you're my best friend. I fucking hate you, you're my enemy. Maybe that's part of the. I'm talking about BPD girls. Maybe the same is true with guys, like friendships. Like spurgs are just desperate friends, and we don't know how to read people, and so we get sucked into this BPD trap. And BPD people are extremes where, like that dude who threatened to break my jaw. I told you, he wasn't like the schoolyard bully. Give me your lunch money. One day he's my buddy. Next day, he's being a dick. Next day, he's being an asshole to someone else. One day, he's almost like driving into me like an asshole. The next day, he's scolding me for not stopping at a stop sign, even though he's driving an asshole. The third day, he's apologizing. So he was all over the place. And same thing. Maybe that's the takeaway. Dumb was never my friend. He was a borderline who's an extremist. So his extreme niceness, I, the spurg, mistake his friendship. Because I'm a spurg. What do I know about making friends? So I mistake, hey, I think this guy's my buddy, when in fact he's just having a high in the positive sense. And when he has a high in the negative sense, I get, so okay, so I'm learning here. So I'm glad I made friends with Dumb, because I'm learning here. Christ. Wow. Yes. Cries. But you see, that's the thing. It's not in the past. It's like, okay, let's say you were in a car accident years ago and it still bothers you. It's sad, but it was years ago. Let's say you're getting into a car accident every day. Well, you shouldn't be on the road. In other words, I shouldn't be expected to navigate the world of the normies. Just like if someone's getting into a car accident it's one thing to say, I was in a major car accident 10 years ago. Still kind of haunts me, but I go on. Every 6 or 7 weeks I'm in a car accident. Clearly you're doing something really wrong. Or you're just a very bad driver. Don't go on the road. Clearly I'm doing something wrong on the normie road. I don't belong on the normie road. I'm a bad driver on the normie superhighway. That's how I feel. And if someone has an accident a couple times, you can try to teach them how to drive better. If they're still having accident after accident, clearly they're never going to learn. Fine, maybe it's all my fault. I'm retarded. I'm clearly damaged. But then you guys always jump up and say, "Oh, you're just a normie spurg, whatever the fuck that is." So it's like you guys can't even get your own story straight. It seems like the world is full of contradiction. You can't even get yourself straight. So I'm glad we're having this. Criticize me if you want. Fine. I'm a bad driver. I shouldn't be on the social highway. Fine. Give me my neat bucks already. I'm glad we had this. I'm glad all this happened. Good stream. Good stream. All right. 5-6 minutes. We'll call it midnight.
Yeah.
One more beer and that'll be it. We have one beer. I got one last beer and we'll call it. Sound good? Okay. I like my analogy, my highway driver analogy. That's how it feels. And imagine an analogy. Let's say someone really is getting into a car accident on a weekly or semi-weekly basis. You could tell them it's your fault, not because you're a bad driver. You're just not paying attention. You're just not learning. Yeah. It's your fault. Okay. Would you want to get in the car with them? Probably not. So stop trying to blame me, Christ. No, that would be you. You sound like a walking contradiction, Penny. I don't get it, Dooley. Don't get it. Yes, that's exactly neat. I like that. Neat purgatory. That's what I was saying earlier. I was saying, I'm never going to win the lottery. I'm never going to start a business. I'm not socially successful enough to have a really great job. I can't even get like a normie job. If I were let's say I was a normie. Yeah, work sucks, but I make decent money. I'm able to survive. I got my wife, my kid, my house, fine. If I were in that position, I wouldn't be dreaming about neat bucks. I'm so low on the totem pole. Like you've got that neat line. I'm just above it. Just above it. I'm too poor to function like the normies or the rich or the millionaires, but not poor enough to get that neat bucks. I need those neat bucks. 1,000%. I agree, Cassandra. And now, before you say, "Oh, Cassandra's in love with you," no, I think Cassandra and I. There are times Cassandra and I have had our disagreements. You're going to say that, "Oh, OC, she's backing you up." No, this is what I'm hoping. Regardless of how you feel about me, I was hoping someone would at least try to see my side. I commend Cassandra for at least trying to see my side. The rest of you do what you always do, like Penny Pounder. Oh, so you're the victim. Okay, fine. If you really think that, elaborate. All you're doing is making generalized statements. I do like that Cassandra's at least trying to understand. And again, because Cassandra was there. Cassandra, in theory, she said that me and Dumb are like uncles to her. I mean, so she's a little, she's actually somewhat impartial. She's looking at us. It's not, oh, see, she wants to have sex. No, it's you're both like uncle figures to me. I like you both, and I'm trying to understand what happened. And yeah, even though OC can be an asshole, I'm still struggling why Dumb behaved the way he did. Cassandra seems to be on my side as someone who was there. That Dumb's behavior seems, like I always say, even if you think I'm guilty of something, even if I'm guilty, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Like saying, you stole a candy bar, so now we're going to burn you at the stake. You went through a stop sign. You went through a stop sign. Now we're going to chop your legs off. In other words, you did something wrong, but the punishment doesn't fit the crime. I think that's what Cassandra's ultimately agreeing with me on.
Okay.
Because she was there. The punishment doesn't fit the crime. But I like what I was saying earlier about, I'm too poor to make it in life. But a little too rich. Neat. I like what Raph. Neat purgatory.
Yes.
Cool.
It's a good stream.
See, good stream. Neat. I like that. Neat purgatory. Good job, Rafter man. I don't live in India, man. All those jobs are outsourced, man. But thank you, Penny Pounder, for another useless comment. Cassandra says she really wants to know specifically what emotions Dumb was feeling overly. He's overly emotional. What was he feeling? I'd like to know too, because this is Spurg. I don't get it. And Cassandra, you're not a Spurg. You and Horsehead are like the two most normie people here. And you're a woman, and they say women are more, in touch socially. So even if the normie girl doesn't get it, clearly something's wrong here. We got my typical Starling. I'm a lol cow to them, so they're punching down like they always do. But we got the one person here who's actually trying to make sense of it. Thank you. And yeah, I don't get it either. And I think my brother means well. I don't need to stop criticizing me. You're free to criticize me. I think, like our parents, our sister, you're quick to just blame me mode instead of saying, okay, buddy, you can say, oh, see, you're an asshole, but okay, I'm surprised that dumb who I thought was your buddy would act this dramatically, huh? Maybe if it's about, he should at least said why he was pissed off. You're not even like, you think Dumb's behavior is totally okay. Maybe you're right. Do I totally deserve this? Dumb's behavior is.
I never said Dumb's behavior was okay. You're looking for an explanation. Why did this happen? Why did this happen?
Yes, I'm like I said, I'm looking for an explanation. I'm a Spurg. I don't get it. I really don't.
I told them I was surprised when it happened. I didn't think it should have happened.
Right.
But now we're trying to explain why this happened. Well, that's what we're doing.
Okay. So again, we're going to start speculating, but he should have said, look, man, this is how I feel. And if I had said, well, Dom, if that's how you feel, we can't be, we'd had a mutual parting of ways, or we'd have worked it out. To go to the extremes is what bugs me. It's like we're fishing for answers. Why did you come out and say it? Exactly. I probably did say something negative. I often do that a lot. I say things, but again, here's what I'm getting at. And this is what I'm going to say to my brother. Okay, let's say I'm an abrasive asshole. Well, if you know me and you want to be my friend, you shouldn't be shocked. And if it bothers you that much and you truly consider me your friend, you should say, hey, you're my buddy. I like you. Hey, this bugs me or this or that. You should at least have the ability to communicate with me. So the fact that they don't, if you want to say my abrasiveness said in jest is so offensive, well, then they were never really my friends to begin with. They didn't like me to begin with. If they, as corny as it sounds, they were never really your friends to begin with. That's sad because we had a nice cheeseburger with the dude. We streamed in his living room. It was comfy. Yeah. It's sad in a way. I didn't get this emotional over DBF. Who gives a fuck? Dumb was something different. And, well, once again, my heart was torn out. No, but see, Cassandra, don't fall into the trap. He said vaguely, I blocked Donna. He didn't specify when. He didn't block her recently. He probably blocked her back when they were having that falling out, back when DBF thought he had a shot. He's probably saying he blocked Donna once, back when he thought it was over, before they'd even met in real life. He didn't specify when it happened. Again, he's not specifying much of anything. Typical normie punch down behavior towards Spurgs. And, so not that Donna's a Spurg. The blocking of Donna probably happened over a year or two ago when he thought, she doesn't like me, we're never going to meet. You're talking to me or Cassandra? Explain in layman's terms, Penny. Exactly. People will do that. Cassandra, as a Spurg, and someone who's, I'm going to sound like an arrogant prick, who steps, this is why I talk about steps ahead. I'm not steps ahead because I'm a genius. No, I'm not. I'm steps ahead because as a Spurg, I've been mistreated, so I've got to try to anticipate the best I can. I'm not smarter than most. I had to flex my intellectual, muscle more than most. You could be as smart as I am, smart or analytical. The better word is analytical. You could be as analytical as I am, but you didn't have to force that muscle because you had a normie life. When you're lacking, they say, is that myth? If you go blind, you get a better sense of hearing. That's not true. Your hearing does not improve. It's the same as always. But if you go blind, you rely on your hearing more than when you had sight. In other words, it doesn't improve per se, but you rely on it more. It's not that I'm smarter, but because I was deficient in social normalization, because I was a Spurg, I had to flex my analytical brain more than the average person would. So yes, whenever someone says, well, I blocked Donna too, don't take it at face value. Say, when? You blocked Donna. That's very vague. When did this happen? Oh, 2 years ago. Yeah, don't let normies do this all the time. They're Weasley. I call them out. Part of the reason why they kill me, I call them out on their bullshit because I know this Weasley game they play. I've had to flex my analytical muscle. I've talked about this before. DBF actually, back when we were buddies, he agreed with this theory about it. When you're abnormal, it's not just a Spurg. If you're not a normie, if you're forced into this camp of seeing how the other half live, you've got to rely on an analytical muscle that most people don't have to bother flexing. Not because they're stupider, but because they don't have to. It's like, if I'm lifting and lugging all day, I'll get big arms. If I'm just sitting typing all day, it's not that I couldn't be stronger. It's that, I'm not working out or what, you know what I'm saying? So it's not that I think I'm smarter than most. I think I've had to flex a brain muscle that most don't have to because I'm a Spurg and I get treated like this, repeatedly. And my brother can disagree, but I feel that way. I've told my shrink this many times.
I've heard this, yes.
Do you agree or disagree? If there's any truth to it, you be honest. If you think it's bullshit, go, Chris. I'm not mad at you. Yeah, I think she's going to excuse to be an ass. You can say whatever you want. I don't care.
It's hard to say. I mean, you just think about things and think about things a lot.
But I ruminate. I think I have purely obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm not washing my hands 20 times a day. I'm not stepping on every crack in the kitchen or on the sidewalk. I just have this. I can't get these thoughts out of my head. And the neuropsych, the one thing she said, listen, I can't diagnose that. I can only diagnose if there's ritual, so I can't give you OCD, even though you have the tendencies. I disagree with her, but she refused to. She said, yeah, I think you're Asperger. I think you have ADHD. There's other things. Other things I'll pull up against sometime. She said, but I can't in good conscience say OCD because I still think of OCD as a ritual and you don't have any rituals. I said, that's true. I do not ritualize. Not that I know of. You know, like Howie Mandel washes his hands. He touches. You see what a fucking slob I am. I'm not washing my hands or stepping on every. There are people that have to step on every tile in the kitchen. I don't have the ritual, but I've got the thoughts that won't go away. Want to do one last beer? Go to the 2-hour mark. Or you want to call it now?
Okay, one last beer.
Let me call it half a beer split and go to call it now. I'm going to bed.
Let's call it. I don't know. I mean, I'm all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like you can keep this going. You have a lot.
I'm winding down. Well, I don't know.
I don't think you're winding down.
I'm going to go to the 2-hour mark.
And you'll take what I can't finish.
Sounds good. I'll pour you half a beer. Very good.
Yes.
Well, you have legitimate. Okay, I'll tell you something. Okay, let's say this is bad. I'm going to do an analogy. You have criticisms of me which are legitimate. I am kind of an asshole.
Yes.
Why didn't I clean the bathroom? Why didn't I do this? Why am I just laying around all day? Why don't I get myself? Okay, but let's say I'm a policeman and I take my car to the car wash and I pay the guy and he does a half-assed job. I say, man, this wasn't that great a job. Now let's say 6 months later, I'm the policeman and the guy comes to me, the car wash guy. Help my wife! She's been raped and murdered. Well, you did a shitty job with my car, so I'm not going to... It's like two different things. Yes, the car wash guy did a shitty job washing your car, but that has nothing to do with the issue at hand. Same thing. You're pissed at me, and rightfully so. The cop can be mad that his car wasn't washed properly, his police cruiser wasn't washed properly, but there's nothing to do with the issue at hand. So I think sometimes you conflate things. You take your anger for me, legitimate anger regarding my laziness, my inability to get a job, my inability to function, my procrastination. That's all legitimate. You're right to be pissed with me, but you take the anger about that and apply it to other things where it's not,
Well, I try to explain how people who haven't lived with you like me might not tolerate or appreciate your assholishness.
Do you appreciate my assholishness?
I don't, but I can tolerate it because I've done all my life. I think when someone tries to run you over or when someone blocks you, it wasn't one event. It was several dozen small events that they got tired of. And I think you know what you're doing. I've stated it before. You get under people's skin and you love it. You love to agitate. You love to antagonize. And then these things happen. You have to relent and back off. Because when you can tell you're hitting a nerve and when you're upsetting someone, you keep going for it for some reason. You need to stop and just, do your own thing. But you don't do that. And then these things happen. I'm a victim. I was wrong. I did nothing. Well, no, you didn't do one thing. You did a bunch of small antagonistic things that led to that. And you refuse to accept that or understand what I'm telling you.
I think that's bullshit. Hey, buddy.
No, it's not.
Why don't you take off your shades? Take off your shades.
Someday.
Take off your shades.
Someday.
Come on, take off your shades. Take off your shades. Here, I'll take them off for you now. I'm being facetious. No, I don't poke and prod the way. Even Cassandra's like, well, I can't quite put a finger on it. If Dumb was that upset, why didn't you share it? There is a sense of, even if I piss people off, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. So. I was singing that song before. Two friends having coffee. You got me hypnotized. How's that go? It's a strange conversation from long ago. Two friends having coffee. You got me hypnotized. Brosi is the voice of generic normism. With a blue pill, what we want to believe is real but isn't.
Nope, I'm calm and level-headed.
Oh, we'll call it from 2-3 minutes. Okay, cool. I'll take what you can't finish. Okay. But see, again, this is I do. Here's why I'm going. Here's where I will hail our Queen Starling yet. And read this, buddy. Dumb consented to being my friend, knowing my ways. If he didn't like my ways, he said, "I don't want to be your friend. I'll be polite with you, but let's keep a distance." He knowingly got into a friendship with me, knowing the sort of person I am. Like none of this was hidden. None of this was unknown to him. And like you said, maybe he's just bipolar. He was never really my friend. He was just on a high, a positive high. Let's be buddies. And now he's on a negative high. Fuck you, you're dead to me. Maybe it's extremes. And I, the dumb Spurg, thought this is real friendship because I don't know what real friendship is. That's what I thought. It's like he knew who I was. It's like, you know.
I mean, a farewell note would have been appreciated had he posted something saying, "Hey, OC, you said this, that, the other thing."
Right.
In 48 hours, I will be unfriending you.
That's what I'm not going to scroll back up. Dubs asked that. He said, "OC, would you have felt a little better if Dumb at least explained himself before ghosting you?" And the answer is yes. I would have felt a little, because no one ever explains things to Spurs.
Maybe you wouldn't have understood or agreed with it, but
right.
you would have gotten a little more clarity.
Yes, at least I would have said, Dumb doesn't want to be my buddy anymore. I disagree with him. I think it's stupid, but hey, at least he had the decency to say, he spoke his piece, our friendship's over. He explained to Spurg what his problem was. I don't understand it, but at least I don't understand his problem, but I understand that he's upset. At least I know, okay. The Damnatio Moriarty, or whatever it was, Damnatio whatever, Memoriam, it's like out of the blue, nowhere, like what? So that's what bugs me. I think as a Spurg, if Dumb said, "I want to break up with you," fine, we'll go our separate ways. To be so like that, especially when he bitches that Todd ghosted him, it's like, you fucking hypocrite piece of shit. Some friend you ever were. Christ.
Now you're pussy hurt, just as pussy hurt as DBF.
So I didn't care when DBF ghosted me because, I mean, it was stupid. I thought, what an idiot, but I didn't really care about him. Dumb, we actually met him in real life, man. We went to his place. We were in his house. We pissed in his toilet.
We broke bread on two separate occasions.
Which one do you want that one? That's what makes it more gut-punching than some asshole I never really met in real life. That's another thing. Good call, Cassandra. Not only because I agree with Cassandra's first point, he knew what I was, who and what I was in advance. If it was that much of a turnoff, he could have kept a distance, not made friends with me, or just kept me as like an acquaintance in the corner.
No, maybe.
But okay, before you get to your maybe, hold your maybe. There's also part two. She brought up a good point. I wasn't thinking of this. He continued. Dumb himself kept calling to streams. Dumb himself kept saying, "I love you, OC. We're buddies." So it's not just that I agree with the first part. He knew who I was to begin with, and he consented to the friendship. And as she's pointing out now, he still actively came on. Who'd ask me, "When are you guys streaming again? How come you didn't stream for a while?" So it's like he's doing all the things that you think a friend would do. To then ghost me is like the antithesis of what you would think a friend like that would do, regardless of some abrasive comment I made. Go ahead. Maybe what?
Yeah, maybe he thought he could handle it better, so that's why he kept coming on. But then eventually he just realized he couldn't do it anymore.
Well, there's a normie meme I've seen floating around. I think it's true. I'm going to say it. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And all I mean by that is, you know who and what I am. You have no excuse to behave like that. If you're really my friend, you would have more respect to say, "Listen, man, you're pissing me off. I want to keep my distance." Fine. But to keep saying you love me, just to like ghost me like that, my God. Yes, Cassandra's correct in this one. I agree with the normie girl. They know about social things. It wasn't the Spurg's fault. Now, the normie girl knows what's going on.
Yes.
And that's actually part of it too. See what Penny Pounder's wrong here. Dummy is just too nice of a guy to tell you to get the fuck on down the road. But like Cassandra said, he kept coming after. He kept saying, "When are you streaming again? Hey, can I come on your stream? Hey, how come you've been streamed in 5 days? Hey." So he was pursuing me. If he wanted me to get on down the road, he could have just ignored me, not ghosted, not dead to me. Damnatio memoria. He could have just said, "I'm not gonna. I'll talk to OC in a few days, or I'll wait, or I won't talk to him for a while." You know, a gradual distance. He went out of his way to contact me. I'm not even on Discord all the time. I'll log into Discord for 5 or 6 days. I'll get a message from saying, "Hey, how come you haven't streamed in a while? Where are you, man?" And so it's you're saying, you make it sound like I'm the unwanted guest. I'm the unwanted guest who can't take a hint, and he's all, when's this guy leaving? When's this guy? But it wasn't like that. I wasn't even a guest anymore. I wasn't even like interacting with him. He would still engage me, pull me back, just to throw me under the bus like this. It's terrible normie behavior. We're seeing the true colors, and you can do what normies always do. Blame me for it. You don't have any ground to stand on. But that's true. You know, you said when you left, you can go back and read the comments of my streams. Hey, when are you streaming again? Yeah.
Yes, you did.
So come on, yeah. You were imposing upon Dumb, but he was too nice to tell you to fuck off. Well, if that's the case, then why is he begging me to stream? If I had fucked off and he wanted me to stay fucked off, as what Spurg doesn't understand. If you wanted me to fuck off, then why is he saying, "Where are you? How come you?" He's basically saying, "How come you fucked off? Where have you gone?" So don't give me your shit, Pounder. Oh. But this is why, when as a Spurg, one last year you want to go to bed now. Bedtime.
I guess one last.
No, we should. As a Spurg, I get confused and I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of your bullshit. And when I ask, all I get is more runaround. That's all I'm getting here is runaround. Not tonight. Maybe. I'm not even. My feelings towards Dumb aren't even like same as DBF. I actually don't hate DBF. That's why I get so confused. I don't actually feel hatred towards these people. I feel confusion. I feel, I don't feel hatred.
Slight indifference.
Yeah, what I feel, no, I feel upset. I do feel upset because, for two reasons. One, I thought we were buddies. What did I miss this time? That upsets me. But also, I don't hate you. Why do you hate me so much to block me? Or in DBF's case, to keep coming here with alt accounts. It's like, if you want me to fuck off, fine. I fucked off. You fuck off too. Let's just go our separate ways. It's like these people, they want to punch down. They want to, I'm going to hurt him. I'm like, but the thing is, I don't see it coming. They feel hurt. Fine. I didn't know it. It's intent. I wasn't intentionally trying to hurt anybody, and they don't express their hurt. All they know is, I feel hurt. My emotions trump everything. Now I'm going to hurt OC. And they come after me and I'm like, what did I do? Because I really wasn't trying to hurt you, but yeah, you wanted to hurt me, clearly. So, I don't hate Dumb, but there's really no reason to talk to him anymore. Bye-bye. Brother Click will be the judge. If you want me to take Dumb on in a few days, I'll consider it, but it's...
I think so.
It's not even anger, it's just, okay. Christ, lead by example. If you don't want to interact with someone, you just politely go your separate way. No need to run someone over or strangle them or poke them like that fucking faggot manager or push them or try to get them fired or get them arrested. You just go your separate fucking ways. In fact, even Cassandra, it was so strange. It was so out of character considering our past history. Cassandra even thought he was joking. Oh, Dumb's role-playing. This is just a joke. Until all this happened. So it's still, even as is what I like, even as you can say, call again, to my brother and to Penny Pounder and to all the others, say whatever you want about me. Call me all the names you want. Blame it all on me. Fine. But even people who watch what happened have to admit, gee,
something ain't right.
Like when the tall faggot behemoth, his name was Paul. When Paul threatened to break my jaw, there were a bunch of witnesses. The boss man took Paul's side, which led to our lawsuit settlement thing. But everybody else in that room, and there were a bunch of witnesses. That's what's so crazy about this. This guy's not only threatening me, he's doing it in front of everybody. So clearly he's insane. Clearly he's a liability, and the fucking retard boss can't handle that, so he goes after me, the easier target. But no one else in that room said, OC, it was your fault. You deserved it. Everybody else who was there said, holy shit, OC, that was crazy. I've never experienced that. I've never done that. I would never do that to somebody. I've never had it done to me, and I've never seen it done to somebody. My mind is blown. You did nothing wrong. This guy's nuts. Larry the dispatcher, the guy, I call him the rock star, Iggy Pop, the guy with the long blondish hair, old guy, the fat kid who did all the picking, the tall mulatto kid. There were 5 witnesses, and they all said the same thing afterward. The old guy, they all said the same thing to me afterwards. They said, you did nothing wrong. That guy's nuts. I've never seen anything like this. Because most people don't behave this way. Like I told my shrink, most people don't hate me, but most people don't get hated on. So most people don't act this way, and they don't get treated this way. They neither act nor get treated. So when they actually, so they have no idea it goes on, and when they finally see it with, a hostile who leaves them alone but comes after me, when they finally witness it with their own eyes, does not compute. What just happened? It blows their minds. And again, we're seeing it here. But we'll leave it at that. And next time we stream, you can explain your counterpoints why you think I'm wrong. We'll go, but it's like it's blowing the minds of the oblivious. Okay. All right. Any last thoughts? We'll say goodnight.
You can keep it going. I mean, I'll go. You can do a 30-second thing or a 60-second thing. Because you see alert, awake, the starlings are out.
I should be cleaning the bathroom.
Could do that tomorrow, I guess.
I got to finish the grass and cut the bathroom.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Cut the bathroom. Exactly.
I got to cut the bathroom. Right. I got to cut the bathroom and scrub the lawn.
Yes, okay. I got to go to bed. You guys keep this going for a bit. Good night, everyone.
Before you go, let's remember happier days. Yeah. There we go. Okay, I'm OC. Bro C is going to bed. He's getting ready in the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. I'll probably end this soon because I think I've said my piece. It's good to get out, and we'll use this as an allegory. But more importantly, where were we? He's actually he's not cutting me slack. He's burned out. You can tell he's ready for bed. It's not even like he doesn't want to do anything. He's not cutting slack. He's ready for bed. He wants an out. So that's what that was. But yeah, but no, I don't mind when my brother challenges me. As a Spurg, I like to be challenged. I like to be told you're wrong, and I can respond. Here's why I think you're wrong, and we can talk it out. Hence, I'm a very poor driver on the normie superhighway. I should have my license revoked and be given a free bus pass on the normie superhighway. Yeah, that's another thing. I like Seymour, and I was saying, I'm friends with him on Discord. Problem is, oftentimes I'll try to because I like talking to him, and Seymour has that, the impression I get from Seymour. And maybe I'm a Spurg. I'm wrong. He goes, "I like you, but just talk to Cassandra. She'll relay it back to me. I was watching in and out." So Seymour's almost like a lurker. Like Cassandra is like the spokesman for both of them. Seymour lurks, but doesn't seem to like to participate. He's more of he likes to watch. He's sitting in the chair in the corner. Now, I'm joking. But Seymour, I get along with Seymour. He's one of my friends. I told you, I was saying earlier, I got 10 Discord friends, all you starlings. I listed them. Seymour's among them, and 2 who defriended me. DBF, which I thought was pathetic, but hey, didn't bother me as much. Dumb, which is hurtful, but life will go on. What they did, what we call unfriending, I call, in a greater sense, I know I kept saying it wrong, but this Latin concept. You're dead to me. Dead to me. I'm going to go back and I'm going to. Now, it's not just that. I'm not going to, we don't get along anymore. Let's go our separate ways. I hate you so much now. You're dead to me. No explanation. I fucking hate you. And I'm going to go back and destroy all the frescoes with your picture on them. You're dead to me. But I'm not like that. I will remember the happier days. I'm not going to go back and cut James's face out of this. I won't see James. I won't cut his face out. I cut my brother's face out, but not because of this. I did this because he wasn't wearing his shades and he didn't want to be okay. But so it's kind of ironic. The guy whose face I cut out, but the point is, I won't try to alter the past. This was one moment in time. It happened for better, for worse. The whole time he wasn't really my friend. He was just, on a bipolar high or whatever. But I'll remember the happy days. I won't, pretend it didn't happen. I'm not like that. But I don't get, as a Spurg, I'm interested in truth. I'm interested in honesty. I'm interested in what's real, not, this, you're dead to me. I fucking hate you. Which is why I've never banned anyone. I've never had to ban or unban. I never unban you. I've never had to go to find some list to unban someone. I've had to get off people's unbanned lists, or said, but I've never banned anyone. Timed out, yes. Banned, no. Never. Well, I think we're winding down. Okay. But what I'm trying to share, it's almost like when you tell children a parable. I'm going to explain things that'll probably, I can already tell you idiots won't comprehend, but we'll use this as a parable because you know who James is and you've seen us meeting. I'll use this as sort of a parable of sorts or to make a bridge, a connection with other aspects of my life. So remember this stream. And if need be, I'll go back and link it in the future when I say, remember the dumb parable? I don't get it, OC. How can someone hate you that much? I don't know. You thought Dumb and I were best buddies. Dumb never showed any indication he was getting upset, as you people yourself said. And you want to go back. It's like what's the term? I don't want to say backtrack. It's like you want to go back and say, well, OC, you were abrasive. OC, you did this. OC. It's always so easy to go back and blame the Spurg, isn't it? But you never stop and say, well, in the moment I was there. I couldn't understand why James was so upset. Nothing you did was over the top. We know you're abrasive. James knew you were abrasive. He still wanted to be your buddy. He still begged you to come on. He still reached out and contacted you. Huh. If you were so abrasive, why would he do that? That's not how friends treat friends. If someone would give me the benefit of the doubt for once, criticize me if you want, but no one ever stops and says, yeah, OC, you're abrasive. But at the same time, two sides. That's not how friends treat friends. But oh well. Enough talking about Seymour. Talk about me, you bitch. We're all in this now. I never said I was an expert on him. When did I ever say I was a dumb expert? When did I ever say that, Penny Pounder? I said dumb is different, unlike a DBF or a Penny Pounder. I actually met him in real life. I don't know everything about him, but he was actually more real to me because I met him in real life than some weirdo on the internet, some rando on the internet. But even DBF is more real to me because I saw his face. You don't even show your face. So, enough. It's like, that's another thing. I don't know if it's just trolling or stupidity or a combination of both. I'm not even upset. It's more like, are you really not following? Are you really that stupid? I don't know if you're trying to be a contrarian for the sake of trolling. I can't tell with you if you really are that clueless. You're the broken clock. You and Totem. Every now and then you say something that's so dead on. Oh, but most of the time what you say is like, it's not even ballpark. It's like, are you even listening to me? Probably not. No, I'm the Spurg giving the allegory of the bipolar, of the mentally off, failed normie. So it's not the allegory of the Spurg, the allegory from the Spurg of the yeah. That's right. I know I've actually criticized James for that in my loving sense. Like, James, come on, man. Could have apostrophe VE. Yes. It's could have or could apostrophe V, could have apostrophe. It's not could of. But then again, Cassandra, you yourself once said, I think it was you who said that, When language changes happen, they happen gradually, and eventually mistakes and misspellings become canon. So even though it makes no grammatical sense now, I bet in 100 years from now, could of OF will be considered proper English because it'll become so commonplace, even though it's wrong today. So in a way, I agree with you. It's like, do you people not speak English? Could have, contraction. Remember contractionations? Could have, could plus have, could apostrophe V, could have. But so many people say could of, OF, that, hey, if that many people are wrong, it becomes right. You know what I mean? So could have might be proper English in like 10 years, even not 10 years, more like 100 years, even though it makes no grammatical sense. No, I'm doing an aside. I saw that about the could, yeah. I was doing an aside. Now, I'm not grasping for anything. But if we want to say goodnight, we'll say goodnight. Any last thoughts people want to have? I'll always remember that. There will be no damnatio memoriae. I will remember the happy days and what to a facade that once was. A facade that once was. Happier days. Yes, it's heartbreaking. You saw our saga, our love affair, and now you see it come to an end. You see it break apart. But hey, I'm not lying. You all saw it for yourselves. Think what you want, but this isn't some story made up. I'll tell my stories, but I have no witnesses. But this all happened. Let's see. Penny Pounder, still living a life you wish you could have, and you're living in hell. You're half right. I am living in hell. Truth is, I don't want your life. I'm happy for you. I'm sure you're doing well with your queen and your drug, whatever it is you do. I am happy for you, but no, I don't want to be you. I think I said earlier, we were talking about, I said about the normies. If I could be a normie, I would have been. And then you started saying, yeah, you wish you were a normie. I said, no, I didn't say I was a normie. And we had this whole back and forth. I'm lucky I have a full head of hair. I like that. I wish I were tall. I wish I were a balder. I wish I were a little bit taller. There are things, yeah, I'd love to be a Chad. I'd love to be a normie. I'd love to be this and that. I have nothing against you despite all the jokes, but no, I would not want to be a nigger. I really don't. I don't want to be a nigger. So I'm happy for you, but no, I'm in truth, I don't want your life. I am living in hell. I want a better life. I want a neat. I don't want your life. I've never wanted your life. It wouldn't be compatible with who and what I am. I don't want your life. Let's see here. Endymion. Hey, where the hell were you? We had an interesting stream. How much you're another one I respect. It would have been good to hear some of your tales and your take on it, but oh well. Bitching about HS high school. HS. Oh, all right. Anything left? Two. I can. Well, do I kill it now or do I have one more beer? You starlings decide. Because I'm glad my brother was here because my brother hadn't heard the story. So I'm like two birds with one stone. I had mentioned in passing Dumb had defriended me or unfriended me, but I didn't tell him the whole story. I said, well, I got to cut the grass. We'll do it later. So I'm glad he was here because I was able to. It's like a good two-way conversation, and life will go on. It's just sort of It's disappointing. It just reminds me once again, Spurgs like me can't have friends, but. Ein mehr. I do have some twisted tea. It's more in a beer mood tonight. Maybe we'll do twisted tea tomorrow. We got a cold front came through. Weather's still warm. In the daytime, it's like summer, but as soon as the sun goes down, it gets kind of chilly. Earlier, I had a flannel on. I took it off for this. It's not. I'm not saying it's cold, but they said we got some cold air came down from Canada, came down for a few days. But they said I think the guy said is tomorrow, the next night, a couple days, it's going to go back north, and as it does, it'll pull the hot southern air, the Dixie air, up. So it's going to get hot. And so summer's not over. I'm glad. I like the nice summer weather. But we've actually had a couple of cooler nights. The past, let's say, two or three nights. Tonight and even tomorrow, it's supposed to be like a cool spell. Daytime is still summer. Nights a bit chilly, a bit on the cooler side. But it's going to get muggy again. So I'll save the tea for a muggier night. All right, well, I think I said what I had to say. I did what I had to do. Where is it? I'll finish the beer I'm currently drinking and call it because I have nothing more to say. I'm glad I got that out. I'm glad we discussed things. I don't even mind the criticism. Like I might get pissed at my brother, but I don't mind criticism. I'll respond to it. And I'm glad some of you seem to get it. I'm not saying you have to agree with me, but at least some of you try to make an effort. Cassandra and Endymion and even Dubs seem like the kinds who will say, all right, we will criticize you, OC. We have fault with you, but we're not going to dump it all on you because you're right. We were there and say what you want about me. Blame me all you want, like my parents, my sister. Do it all you want. Even my brother to some extent. Do it all you want. Doesn't change the fact that you saw with your own eyes this time how dumb behaved towards me, and you yourselves can't fully fathom it. You pretend you can, but you can't. And how am I supposed to fathom? I'm the guy who's got to live it. You guys don't experience it. You're oblivious. But now you're seeing the kind of shit. And this is mild compared to some of the shit I've gone through. But like you said, you're all surprised. You and Dumb were buddies. How could this happen? Well, don't be surprised. When you're a Spurg, no one's your buddy. My goal wasn't to change anyone's mind. My goal was to show you, to present, to speak my mind, show you my half of the story, explain to you what happened, and like I told Cassandra, you don't have to take my word for it. And even Dumb came on and admitted, yeah, I did defriend him or unfriended. I unfriended him. And even Cassandra said, I was there, and even Donna, who was there, we don't understand why he's so salty. So it's don't just take my word. I'm presenting, the truth. Okay, well, help me understand. Other than my warped vision, explain. Go ahead. Other than my warped vision, my warped Spurg mind, explain. Because even if I'm partly at fault, why are you blaming it all on me? Because it still makes no sense. And if Dumb knows I'm a Spurg with a warped Spurg mind, why did he react this way? Why didn't he OC's a Spurg, I should take a different approach? So I don't get it. This was when I was a teenager. I'm not really into rap, but I remember some of the rap hip hop songs when I was a teenager. Skilo. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" Impala. I remember he was sitting on the park bench. It was like a parody in the music video. It's like a parody of Forrest Gump. Skilo sitting on this bench in a park in Los Angeles, and you sit next to a big dude and like a pretty girl and like all these different. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish a lot of things in life, but hey, I am what I am, and we are what we are, and this life is what it is. So we want me to tell you. All right. Well, I think this was a positive, productive night. I think we accomplished a lot. Like I said, I'm not into rap, but yeah, that song, I remember that from when I was growing up. I was like, how old was I? I was like 14, 15. That song was catchy. I wish I was a little bit about it. I wish I was a little bit. It was catchy. It was a catchy tune. It was one of the quote unquote clean rap songs. It wasn't about fucking the bitches or smoking the dope or shooting the gangbanging. It was about no. I wish I was tired. I wish I had a girl like Carl. I wish I had him powder. It was like I guess what Steve Urkel wishes he could have been. And Cassandra's correct. It's not just me. No one. We can speculate. My brother Click was speculating. Well, he's basically. I'm going to paraphrase my brother. He's not here, but I'm going to paraphrase him. Well, OC, I'm your brother. I know you well. You can be this. You can be that. He can list all my faults. We all have faults. That still doesn't explain the situation at hand. Okay, fine. I'm an asshole. I'm a dick. I'm abrasive. All that's true. It still doesn't quite explain. That's what a lot of people do when the oblivious don't have an answer. They default to vague generalities, vague criticisms. You're this, you're that, you're that. Okay, but the guy wanted to be my friend, and if you didn't want to be my friend, why not just go? It's like if he was cool enough for me to be my friend, you shouldn't be that kind of upset that quickly. So he wasn't really my friend. It's like all I get are vague. This goes beyond dumb. Even my own brother, all I get are vague generalities. Like, come on, man. It's like what you're saying is true in part, but it doesn't explain it. You're just looking to just blame it on me instead of like trying to get to the root of the problem. The answer to this problem does not lie with me. You can say what you want about me, but this is one of those times, thank you, Cassandra, it's an outside party. It's easier to blame the victim than it is to try to investigate or think about it. It hurts. That's why the black pill is so off-putting to most. It hurts the mind to think about these truths. Yeah. Bruce, it was a bunch, and you notice how Donda came on, but she didn't say much either. So it's if they're really my buddies, listen, OC, man, we still love you. We're a little upset about this, but maybe we were assholes. They would try to mend fences. There was no attempt. Say what you want about me. There was no attempt at fence mending on either of their parts. So why am I the Spurg always? That's what I don't get. This isn't even about dumb and Donna. This is about why is the Spurg blamed 100%? Even if I'm partly at fault, why is it always dump it all on the Spurg? Because that's what my life is. Blame it 100% on the fucking Spurg, even when the other party's wrong. It's easier to blame the Spurg. I'm a convenient scapegoat. Yes. Yeah, help us all understand. You keep saying, we tried to tell you. This is Penny Pounder. We tried to tell you, but your Spurg mind won't listen. Okay, try again. Explain again. Even Cassandra didn't get it. You're the girl that you're in love with, Cassandra. You go on about your queens. You wish Cassandra was coming to your streams, and maybe she will if you explain yourself. So go on, Penny Pounder. Okay, so you don't like something about the aspect of me. That still doesn't answer the question with dumb. Again, you're making like my brother. You're making it about me. Okay, yes, I'm the Spurg who wants to play the victim. Well, say whatever you want. You're still not addressing. Okay, I was telling my brother. I said, listen, I'm an asshole. Forget about me for a minute. As hard as it is, take me out of the equation. Forget about me. It's hard. Take me out of the equation. Even though I'm an asshole, your mother behaved like a bitch. Your sister behaved like a cunt. Your father acted like a retard. Yeah, I'm probably partly to blame. But instead of dumping it all on me because I'm here and I'm easy target, why don't we say, okay, we agree, OC, you're a piece of shit, but you aside, put me aside. Yeah, our mother did this. He never wants to do that. It's easier to dump it all on one person than to pick it apart and say, you're an asshole, but you're not 100% of the problem. A lot of normies can't do that. So it's easier to say, I'm 100% of the problem, instead of saying, oh, see, you're part of the problem. We will criticize you, but you're not 100%, and there are other valid criticisms. Let's explore those. It's just let's blame OC. Typical. Blame the Spurg. Nor do I. I'm being very honest with you people. And that's what it is. It's like, I can't be the only one who thinks this way. Cassandra seems to agree with me. I think Endymion does. He's afraid to say anything. I think Dubs did. I'm not the, this isn't just, if it were just me, you can say it's all in your head. Like, if it had been something obvious and I didn't get it, if I didn't get it, you could all say, OC, you came on the stream, you whipped out your dick. You said, hey, Donna, take a suck. And James said, I can't be your friend anymore. If it was something that obvious and I was really too retarded to understand it, you'd all be saying, I was there, you pulled your dick out and said, Cassandra, suck it, and Dumb said, I can't be friends with you anymore. But nothing like that happened. Nothing obvious happened, which means this isn't just me. This goes beyond me. Dumb and Donda shouldn't be, given a pass or let off the hook. They shouldn't be absolved of guilt. You're lucky. I'm pouring the other beer. Congratulations. Ugh. Exactly. See, out of the blue, like you had asked before, and my brother even said, had Dumb been a bit more diplomatic, he said, listen, man, our friendship's over. I'm upset about this, and I have a new life in Australia. And look, I want to go my own separate way. I'd say, fine. It's sad, but okay, bye. Yeah, I think it was the suddenness after what I thought. After, like Cassandra said, he's begging me to stream, saying, "Where are you?" Coming on saying, "I love you, Lucy." To go from that to this other extreme, to go from one extreme to the other is what bugs me. If like we were friends and we were not as close, we're drifting apart, then we have an argument and we decide to go our separate ways. Gradual. Instead, we go from, "Oh, see, where have you been? You haven't streamed. I miss you," to "You're dead to me forever." It's like, as a Spurg, I don't get it unless he really is bipolar. I really don't know. I don't understand the need for. In a way, I did. I always said I used to joke. He's my boy. I put my arm on his shoulder. I'm a Spurg. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't socialize with a lot of people. Dumb is like the first. This is the truth. Other than my brother, who's my brother, Dumb's the first guy I've gone to hang out with at like a diner in years. I can't remember the last time, maybe me and some coworkers or something. I can't remember the last time I hung out with a dude as a buddy, just for fun of it. So when you're a Spurg and things that you normies take for granted don't happen too often. Yeah, it hurts more when, geez, I can't even enjoy the memory. It's going to be soiled by how it ended. It's not like, Dumb and Donna got married and Dumb moved on with his life. Okay, we'll always have nice memories. Now I always remember, Christ, I'll remember the happier days, but man, that ended piss poor, and I don't get it. And it wasn't just me. Several others agreed we don't get it either. So it does hurt when you have no friends and one guy's nice to you and then he totally does a 180. Yeah, it hurts. I'm a Spurg, man. He toyed with my emotions. I am the victim. Mm-hmm. And there's some blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, fine. You don't want to be my girlfriend or my buddy. Fine. But how can we go from having something that seemed so good to suddenly, my God. It's almost like if you can feel that strong enough a conviction to hate me like that, then all of the lovey-doveyness was fake, which hurts. It's like, oh, man, I actually thought for once someone was my buddy. All the lovey-doveyness was fake, because if that were genuine, you wouldn't have turned on me that quickly. You might have gotten upset with me. We might have drifted apart. It wouldn't have been that sudden. So all the buddy-buddiness was fake. Like you're saying, Endymion, the girlfriend you dated a couple times, instead of saying, look, it's over, I want to go my separate way, she ghosted you like you were some kind of serial killer. It's like, wow, what a reaction, which it's not just the action itself. It's the fact that action undermines the happier days, because it makes me go back and think, well, what were those happier days? They weren't sincere. Because if this was real, if this was sincere, this guy here wouldn't act like that if he was sincerely my buddy. The fact that he could just ghost me like that out of the blue, that was all fake. What a fool I am. The Spurg thought he had a little buddy. How foolish the Spurg. Once again, played for a fool. But hey, I'm a Spurg. I don't get it. No, that's what I'm saying. Brosi, he's my brother. I'm glad we get along. I've alienated my mother, my father. Well, fuck my father. My parents are pieces of shit. Even my sister. My sister's kind of a cunt, so I don't quite regret it. My brother's the only family member I talk to. And again, stairs. I know he doesn't count. I was saying, I can't remember the last time I went out to hang out with a dude other than my brother. Just putting that clarification in parentheses. Other than my brother, who doesn't really count. I was just clarifying. Yes, my brother and I go out to we went to the diner a few days ago, but I was a clarification, context, man. I know he doesn't count. You're not telling me anything I don't know. You think you're enlightening me. You think I'm down here and you're up on these stairs. I'm like 20 steps ahead of you. You missed the point I was getting at. My brother and I got to hang out in diners. We get along, but he doesn't count. He's my brother. That's the point I was making. You seem to think I was making the opposite point. Anyway, other than my brother, Dum's the last dude I hung out with. I can't remember the last time. Like Todd always said, you can't have male friendships. And I guess but I like I said, I didn't consider Dumb to be my lifelong friend. I just thought he was a cool dude on the internet. I liked him. He was close-ish. I got along with him. Let's meet up one time. I even said to my brother and I said, we'll never see him again. He's going to Australia. We joke about meeting up. We'll never see each other again. We had that one nice moment. I'm glad. It was a nice, like, positive. It was kind of undone by his very hostile, very nasty, unfriendly actions. But blame me for it. Well, if he doesn't like me open my mouth, he shouldn't be my friend in the first place. That's all I can say. Because it was pretty well established who and what I am well before we met up. Over a decade ago. I haven't had sex or been with a girl since my earlier 30s. I'm 43 now, over 10 years. And I've never had a long-term, I've never had a girlfriend, like a long-term, we're together. And I've said that many times. But I said, that's kind of like I said, like when husband and wife break up, I'm sure it's like the same. It ends very bitterly, but they look back and think of the happier days. I kind of feel like it's not just husband and wife. It could be friends like Dumb. Even my family, not so much my parents. There's a part of me that feels upset that my sister and I had such a, drift apart. It is sad. Ideally, it shouldn't have happened. But then I look at the real world and say, well, my sister is a cunt. No matter, I even told this to my shrink. I told my shrink, because my shrink said something similar to Cassandra. Maybe you should be the bigger man and try to make amends. And I said, two people can't make amends unless both want to. So it doesn't matter what I do or don't do. I'm only one party. Both have to. You need two people willing to make amends. Okay? If my sister's going to continue to be a cunt, then no matter what I do or don't do, it's never going to work. If my mother's going to be secretive with me and not tell me things after I propped her up after my father had a stroke and kept her from going homeless, if these people are going to treat me like this, then it doesn't matter what I do or don't do. I could be the bitch boy who grovels for them, or I can say, fuck you. Either way, the end result's the same. Unless they're willing to come to the table, it's not, the onus isn't, I'm only half the equation. Understand? James paid. He offered. I said we can split. He offered. I said, that's very nice of you. But then again, he didn't have a car. We got him into the house. He'd been eating fucking, oh my God, like Dollar General pizzas for like 2-3 weeks. And I'm dead serious when I say we pulled him out of a funk, because the day before we came, he told us, I believe him, at least I think he's genuine. He said the day before we came, he was feeling really out of it. He didn't want to do any more work. He was sitting around. He got nothing done. I think it was poor diet and being alone in that house and everything weighing on him. I think we gave him what we call a pick-me-up. You ever heard the term? We were a pick-me-up. We got him out of the house. We got a solid meal in his belly. I think it did us all good. I think we were a pick-me-up. We got him out of a funk he was in. They sell microwavable pizzas, look like little things you put in the microwave. Not an actual pizza. He was going to the frozen food section and buying a pizza in a box. And those breakfast bagels, and he was buying frozen microwavable food for like 2 or 3 weeks since he got back from Australia from his last visit prior to selling the house. All he sold his car. He was alone, cooped up in his house. Chris would come over occasionally. He was all by himself and was just going to the dollar store, and he was just basically eating microwavable pizzas. And if you watched the video that we did of that, we actually went to the Dollar General. It's on camera. We were there when he bought a bunch of frozen foods. So clearly you guys don't pay attention, but that's okay. But once he got that burger, I even told him, you can see it on camera. I said, look, man, I think getting that food in you're starting to digest. You seem more awake, more alert now. He seemed really out of it until you got that hamburger and French fries in him. Good. You should put in the photo album. Remember what once was. Remember a vestige of happier days. Happier days. Happier days. Exactly. Now, again, the broken clock. Exactly. It was such a passionate night. It was so beautiful, so magical. And now I know how Stacy feels when she gets dumped by a Giga Chad, because my God, it hurts. My God, it hurts. We had such a beautiful night. I thought he'd marry me. We'd be together forever. It's like being dumped by a Giga Chad. Dumb is a heartbreaker. My God, you're right about that, Penny. We had such a passionate night. Who would have thought it would go so bad so quickly? Yeah, yeah. Happier days. Once upon a time, not that long ago, only a month ago. The same fucking. We're still in summer, the same season. Oh well, oh well. That quick. That's another thing. Things go bad for Spurgs. I'm amazed how quickly they go bad. I mean, it's not even like we had a falling out 6 months from now. We're having a falling out like a month after I visited. I visited him like when was it? Early to mid June. We're now in late July. Like a month or so. 5 weeks. Wow. Oh well. And as you can see in this picture, Dumb, he's such a beautiful Giga Chad, and he's a tall fag. I'm only 5'9". Dumb was a towering 6'7". I was like, wow. He was like, I was in awe by. I think these people, these Giga Chads, they don't realize, the power they have to break hearts. When I looked up, a good foot and a half to look into his eyes, it was magical, as you can see by this photo here. Anyway, that was my story. I've told it. I've gotten it out of my system. I feel betterish. That's how I feel. I'm a Spurg. I'm a human. I may be a Spurg, but I'm still a human being. I have feelings too, and I'm sharing my feelings. All right. Anything else we want to talk about? My beer's almost done. I'll probably end it with this. So anything else we want to talk about, or have we gotten that out of our systems now? I feel better. I needed to have this stream. I'm glad I did. I'm glad Bro C was here. I told him the story. I have to repeat it because I wouldn't want to repeat all this shit. So we got that. Okay, good. I think this is actually a good thing. It'll help me. It's clear. It's like osmosis or what's the catharsis. I'll start telling the stories of my my trauma over the past few years. Maybe I'll eventually go back to my childhood, but if you're only listening to the 4+ decades, well, we'll talk. That's one baby step. Baby steps. Well, I would say yes. It seems like contractionating is lost on a younger generation. In fact, what are they saying? They don't teach cursive writing anymore. And allegedly, not only do kids not know how to sign their own names, they can't even read cursive. Now, I'll admit, I prefer printing because I think it's much more clear. But to not even learn cursive writing is kind of weird. And do they not teach contractions? I remember as a kid in school, they would teach us, could plus have equals could apostrophe ve. U plus R equals U apostrophe RE. Your. So maybe they don't teach contractions. Maybe that's part of the problem. They stopped teaching cursive writing. I guess they hope the spell check will pick up if you didn't contraction it correctly. I don't know. Contractions. They're coming. They're coming. They're only fucking a minute apart now. Oh, okay. All right, so I'll finish this beer and I'll say goodnight. Anything else you want to say, or I'll just want to sit here and look at me? I'm going to 3-hour mark. I'm at 2:47. Yeah, so either the beer or the 3-hour mark. I'll go on for another 15 minutes or so, or I can just end it now. I feel like I've spoken my piece. Well, you know what they say: bad students, bad teachers, and tutors. I think part of the problem is these kids today are being educated by 20 and 30 something yoo-hoos who are whatever the term is, yahoos, who themselves aren't very well educated. I kind of think we were talking about how I'm a zennial. Too young to be X, a little too old to be a millennial. Millennial is a very broad term, but it seems like most millennials are born like later 80s, 1990s. Too young to be X, which is like early to mid 70s. A zennial. I really like that term. Last to have an analog childhood, first to suddenly have a digital adulthood. And I feel we're the last generation as kids to be educated by adults who never had a digital adulthood. Because when I was a little boy in like kindergarten, learning my ABCs, computers existed, but they were a rarity. They weren't something that people had. Spell check, all this shit didn't exist. So, and the teachers are a different generation. So, but now I think part of the problem is you got 30 somethings trying to educate kids, and it's we're losing quality with each passing generation. That's just what I think. Just my opinion. What you call the shit is just me being a spurg. It's who I am naturally. If you can accept my spurgness, you'd say, okay, what I think is bullshit is just OC's spurgness, and I can get past that, which is what I thought Dumb would be able to do, but wasn't. I don't expect you to get past it, Penny Pounder, but I thought Dumb, I really wanted to believe that Dumb was one of these failed normies who was able to see past my spurgness to say, okay, I shouldn't get upset. The guy's a spurg. And no, I'm not saying that gives me a blank check to be an asshole. That's a myth. I'm saying intent is key. If I say something and my intention is to joke around and you misinterpret it as me being nasty, if you can't tell the difference, then it's all about intent. So no, I'm not saying I'm a spurg, fuck you. I'm saying I'm a spurg. How you doing, my buddy? Come here, you ugly fuck. Why do you call me an ugly fuck? I'm joking with you, man, trying to show goodwill. In other words, if you can't get my spurgness, then why do you want to be my friend? Why pretend to be my friend? So yes. Chuck, this is a song from when I was a teenager, from when you were a little young. Maybe you know this one. Chucking on my brain, you're the teacher, I'm the student. Turning things around, your story's not congruent. Tabloid decoys, pitiful excuses. Turning things around, you're turning things around. Turning things around, you're the teacher, I'm the student. Your story's not congruent. Tabloid decoys, pitiful excuses. Turning things around. You're turning things around. Yeah. You got into teaching because you needed a job and you ended up being good at it. Yes. Like they say, those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach gym. So the person who wasn't good at it, they became a gym teacher. And they say, oh, I don't want to be a gym teacher. I'm just good at it. Those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach gym. Facts. That's correct. Eve 6 was that band. Chucking on my brain, you're the teacher, I'm the student. Turning things around, your story's not congruent. Tabloid decoys, pitiful excuses like dumb. Turning things around. And you starlings turning things around. Chucking on my brain, you're the teacher, I'm the words, I might get the lyrics slightly wrong. It's been years. It was popular when I was like 17, 18 years old. I was finishing high school when that song came out. Chucking on my brain, you're the teacher, I'm the student. Is it a Spurg normie thing? Is it a white black thing? Is it a middle-aged 40s teenager thing? I mean, where do you think the disconnect comes in? Our age difference, our racial difference, our neurological wiring? Where do you think our upbringing, our background, our regions of the country, where do you think the disconnect comes in, Penny? Dumb said the same thing once. He said, oh, see, you're a Spurg weirdo, but I love you. I don't hate you. I can never, ever hate you. Trust me, I know your heart has been broken by many, many, many people. Don't worry. No matter how bad things get, I'm the shining star. I'm your buddy. And we gave each other a hug, which is why it hurts so much. Hurts so much when he, Yeah, there you go. Well, you keep telling me about your normie life. You got the pretty girlfriend. You got a good job. Somehow I know what you do. You got a lot of money. If you don't think you're a normie, that's fine. You can elaborate. But you keep saying, OC, you wish you could be a normie. Yeah, if I could have been a normie, I would have been. OC, you wish you could have my life. Well, not really, but I thought you were implying that you see yourself as a normie. Kind of, once again, chucking on my brain, you're the teacher, I'm the student. Turning things around, Penny. Your story's not congruent. I don't get it. You say, I want to be a normie, and I wish I had your life. I thought you were implying that you see yourself as a normie. Now you're saying you're not a normie, which is why I have a very hard time understanding anything you say. That's not entirely true. Normie has to do with how you function with other people. Okay? That's why I always said DBF and DUM aren't Spurgs. But they're not normies. They're failed normies. Most of their lives are normal. They have good jobs. No one bothers them. They're able to survive. They're able to function. They can't get that female connection. DUM finally got it at the age of fucking 45 with a woman who's over 50. DBF never got it and started fucking men. So I'm not saying they're normies. I'm saying they're failed normies because it's how you interact with other people and how other people treat you. You can see how I get treated. This whole... So, no, and I've always said, it isn't normie versus Spurg. There are degrees, of course. I don't think DUM and DBF are Spurgs. I don't think they're normies or normies. I see them as failed. I've explained this millions of times, Cassandra, and I don't need this condescension. The broken clock is correct. You're a normie, Cass. Don't give me this. Not necessarily. You have a significant, you're a Spurg. You have a significant other. Good for you. You got a girlfriend. But, maybe you work as an engineer because you're a genius. You struggle socially. You're a Spurg. I wouldn't say you're a normie. It's like an equation. It's a number of things that come together. Dumb and DBF are normies because they didn't have problems outside of not getting into a relationship. Other than that, they never seem to have problems with people, interacting with people, making friends, holding jobs, getting money. I've been bullied out of every fucking job, or chased out of, or whipped out of every job I've ever had. I don't think anyone ever threatened to break Dumb's jaw. I don't think any Abo tried to run over DBF. They're effectively normies who can't get girlfriends, so they're not normies. They don't have. I admit, I've always said it's not just normie versus Spurg. There's other things, and yes, Dumb and DBF are damaged people like me. We're all in that damaged camp. But I'd still say they're in the failed normie territory. It's an equation. And I guess you could have a Spurg who got lucky, got some ugly girl. Maybe, I'm thinking in earlier days, Spurgs probably did get married when women had less options. And if they, were a brilliant engineer, they could have held a job. But if they were having major problems elsewhere, just functioning, so no, it's more convoluted than what you're trying to imply, Cassandra, which makes me think you really never paid attention or understood me from the get-go. But yes, you are a normie, Cass. I don't need this shit. But yeah, I do that. I do call people idiots and act like I'm light years ahead. But not for fun, not for jest. It's not like I start the stream, hi everyone, you haven't said anything yet, but I'm light years ahead of you. I'm better than you. No. I start the stream, I start talking, and then I get idiots saying the same fuck. Like I say, man, I was having a fantasy today. I'm a NEET in my fantasy. I'm a NEET, and everything's paid for. I got rent-controlled apartment. Rent is cheap. I'm getting my NEET bucks. And I'm happy again. Somehow my mind is cured, and I can like play video games and watch TV and do cool shit. Everything's great. That's my fantasy. And then people come on, like you, Penny Pounder. You think you're a normie? No, it's not what I said. Chris Dubbs, what a good life you have, OC. You're bragging. No, I'm telling you my fantasy. Oh, you're being sarcastic. No, I'm telling you what I want. It's like, maybe I'm not articulating well enough. But it's almost like, are you people not paying attention? That's when I say, Stairs, come on. And you can go back and rewatch and tell me where I'm wrong. Don't take my word for it. It's all on video. Christ. No, I wouldn't call you Spurg. You're very much a normie. I don't care how much you love little beetle insects crawling around. It's like, that alone doesn't make you Spurg. It's your whole life story. And it's not an insult. And I even gave you, I'm not going to draw it again, that diagram. If it's a spectrum, normie to Spurg, at some point you got to draw a line. You put a fence up. This side's normie, this side's Spurg. You could be closer to the Spurg fence, but you're still on the normie side of the line. So if we're thinking this segment is normie, this segment is Spurg, at some point you got to draw a division, put up a wall, build a wall. You're still on the normie side of the wall. You may be closer to the Spurg line, but you're not fully into Spurg territory, and you're better off for it. You wouldn't want to be. If I could be a normie, I would be. Be glad you're on the normie side of the wall and stop getting defensive. Christ. It's starting to sound like DBF now. Jeez. And Penny, the broken clock's correct. You're not a Spurg. Cassandra, you are not a Spurg. No. Has anyone tried to kill you at a job? Have you been in at least one successful long-term relationship? Have you been in multiple long-term relationships? Are you somehow able to survive and not have to worry about becoming homeless? If you can answer yes to all those questions, no one tries to harm you. No one tries to get you fired. No one tries to get you arrested for something that's not an arrestable offense. We have video of him vaping in the back room 3 months ago. They should arrest him. If people don't do these absurd things to you, you're on the normie side of the line. Congratulations. I wish I could join you. Like I said, you might feel, and maybe you're right, maybe you're more abnormal than the normiest of normies. But like I was saying, like Dumb and DBF, I didn't say they were normies. They're clearly fucked up, but they're still failed normies. There's a reason we have these terms. Normie, failed normie. Spurg adjacent, Spurg. There's a reason we have these degrees, and it's not a contest. It's not a competition. Christ, I wish I wasn't a Spurg. God help me, I wish I wasn't a Spurg. Or if I got to be a Spurg, I wish I came from like a rich family with loving parents who gave me millions of dollars so I'd have to live in the world. I could be cool being a Spurg if my parents were lovey-dovey and they left me millions of dollars. My parents are pieces of shit and they're fucking bankrupt. So, okay. The point is, it's not a competition, but there are degrees. So, like DBF, you're looking at normie versus Spurg, binary. You're either a normie or Spurg. And I tried to tell the guy, It's non-binary. It's not either or. You're not a normie, fully normal, functional person, but you're not a spurg either. There's degrees. I've explained this a billion fucking times. Come on. Now you're starting to sound like Rafterman or Penny Pounder or even Dubs. Like, you're not paying attention. How many times did I repeat myself, Cassandra? Oh, that's a fair point. She keeps spending time with us. There's got to be something wrong with her. No, as you all tell me, she's super duper attracted to me. She just wants to, spread her legs for me. So she comes here because, wow, she's so attracted to Chad OC. Yes. She's madly in love with this fucking ugly fucking spurg. Oh, yeah. That's what you normies tell me. Whoa. It's nothing to solve. I'm just speaking my mind. Why are you leaving me? I'm about to get off. I'm at the 3-hour mark. I was about to get off. You couldn't say goodbye. Now I'm hurt. Penny Pounder's the next dumb. No, I'm just kidding. Bye-bye, Penny Pounder. Okay. I know. So why are you arguing about, I'm not, you see me as a normie, but I don't feel like a normie. Well, why don't you start sharing? In fact, next time, why don't you come on? I want you to share some stories about your life. That's why I bring people on. Oh, you don't want to? Come on. And I know bad things can happen. Even, like I always tell my shrink, you can be a normie from a loving home. You can be a normie from a fucked up home. You can be a spurg from a loving home. You can be a spurg from a fucked up home. I keep telling them, just because my home life was fucked up, that doesn't exempt me from being a spurg. And likewise, just because your home life was fucked up, it'll affect you. But it doesn't mean you're not a normie. Being a normie or spurg is hardwired. But you could have very much come from a fucked up family, fucked up household. I don't know your whole backstory, but it's not spurg versus normie. That's what you and DBF seems to struggle with. So is that why you come around here, Cassandra? You believe you're a spurgette. You believe that you are a spurg. Is that, let's be honest, you believe you're a spurgette. And one time, before my father came home from the asylum, or the institution, the assisted living, I asked my mother to join me on my shrink session. And I told her, I said, listen, would it be okay if my mother comes on? He said, sure. It's okay. So I brought my mother on, and I said, Ma, you're very dishonest. All my life, it's deception. And my mother, now that my mother and my father have moved out, she's back to being deceptive. Why don't you just tell me you started a new bank account? You don't have to lie to me. Why don't you tell me you want to do a change of address? I'm not mad, but why don't you tell me? Anyway, so I said, Ma, my father was still in the institution. My brother and I had moved back in here. I said, Ma, you're very deceptive. And she goes, no, I'm honest. And later, as we're getting more heated, I said, Mom, there's so much shit from my childhood. And she goes, well, there's stuff you don't know about. There's stuff you don't know. And I said, exactly. Hence why you're so fucking deceptive. And she goes, you remind me of that. You're going to tell me there's stuff you don't know. Okay, well, enlighten me. I can tell my mother. I preface the session. Ma, there's a lot of shit you don't talk about. You believe secrecy, and all it does is cause chaos and destruction. Why don't you be honest? Oh, I'm not secretive. And a bit later, she's getting angry with me. I was saying, my mother didn't tell me this. My parents filed for bankruptcy. I was well into my 20s. They never told me. We had to go through all this shit when my father had a stroke. Oh, well, there's stuff going on you don't know about. Exactly. Tell me, you stupid bitch. That's what I prefaced it with. Oh, I can't say anything. That's what it reminds me of. That's what you're reminding me of now. All right, so on with this. Chucking on my brain, you're the teacher, I'm the student. Turning things around, your story's not congruent. Tabloid decoys, pitiful excuses. Turning things around, you're turning things around. Chucking on my brain, you're the teacher, I'm the student. All right, all I can do is remember happier days. There will be no damnatio memoriae. But I will say this. It's ironic. Damnatio memoriae. I will not, despite all the bullshit, I won't try to erase the past. Once upon a time, I thought Dumb was my buddy. Not that long ago. A little over a month ago, I thought Dumb was my buddy. Ironically, I did kind of pseudo damnatio memoriae with my brother, not because he's dead to me, but because he wanted to be dead to the starlings. So it's kind of ironic. In this photo, I did practice a form of damnatio memoriae, but not for the reasons of damnatio memoriae, and not with the guy that I'm upset with. I burned up my brother because he requested it. Damnation memoriae is when you say, you didn't request it, I fucking hate you. If I blocked out Dumb and said he's dead to me, cut his picture out, that would be true damnatio memoriae. I am not going to block him out. I blocked out my brother upon his request. I will remember, or try to remember, the happier days and realize what I thought was a friendship. At least the one gift Dumb gave me, even if it was all fake, at least he gave me the illusion of friendship. For one brief moment, a Spurg could feel like he had a buddy. For one brief moment. Of course, every time I feel that way, that person always turns around and makes it clear we're not buddies. So Dumb acted like normies always do, typical. But I can at least try to think that once upon a time, there were happier days. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop for a moment. Hold on. I'm gonna get off, but I got a response to Cassandra. It's not about me believing or disbelieving. All I can go on is what you've presented, and what you presented thus far makes me think you're pretty normie. Now, if you feel you're a Spurgette, maybe you are, or maybe you're something else. Maybe you're not a Spurgette, but you're some kind of failed normie female. I don't know. You like the criticism of my mother. You're secretive. How can I know what you don't tell me? So it's not about whether, if you don't believe, that's okay. It's not a question of me believing or disbelieving. It's a question of you not being forthright. So you want to come on sometime and share some stories? I'd love to hear them. Maybe I'll change my mind. I can only go upon what you've told me thus far, which is a lot of secrecy, because what I'm seeing, you're pretty fucking normie. So if you got something more to say, by all means share it. But if you're not gonna share anything and just say, well, if you don't believe, that's okay, then it's like, go fuck yourself. Typical normie punch down. Yeah, but what you thought I thought a normie wasn't accurate. Well, I'm not asking for your perspective. I want to hear your stories. Why? Because I always said, and this is why I do miss Beppis. She even said, yeah, I'm a Spurgette, and I thought I had it hard. Then I realized the men have it harder. But listening to my observations of Beppis, yes, I believe she's a Spurgette. My observations of you, I'm not seeing it. If you want to come on and share some stories, I'd love to hear them. You haven't given me enough information as to why you might. Maybe you're right. Maybe you are a Spurgette or you're something else. You haven't provided enough. So I'm not asking for your perspective anymore. Why don't you start providing something more substantial? Okay, maybe you're telling the truth. I have no way of knowing because you don't elaborate. You don't share. So we don't need to tell you, Cassandra. Look at the three of us, our beautiful Chad jawlines. We deliberately took it at that angle to show off our square-jawed, masculine. Oh, look at that. My God, even I'm getting a hard on looking at me, Dumb, and my brother, even my own brother, how masculine, square Chad jaws we have. Love it. Happier days. Maybe that's one of the reasons I bonded with Dumb. He just seemed like a regular dude, and I thought we could be buddies. But hey, I'm not a regular dude. I'm a fucking Spurg, and it's just not possible. So the memories that, to the dumb that was, to the memory of the dumb that was.